Good afternoon. Suppose I should get this going here. Alright. Welcome to the PIB Classic Movies reenactment of Déjà Vu, A Nightmare Comes True. Yes, something has happened to the presentation. Gosh, I can only speculate as to what. Let's actually turn this down a little bit more. There we go. Alright. Suppose we should get going here. This point-and-click game. Same vein as Shadowgate and Uninvited. Alright. Hello, Dorina Facade. I woke from a stupor that felt like a chronic headache after a week in Vegas. I noticed my right palm is covered with dried blood, but I can neither see nor feel any wound. It's the glasses doing that. If I took that off, it would be perfectly fine. My left forearm, rolling up the sleeve, I found a tiny puncture on my arm. As a doctor injected me with the medicine. Then I realized, I can't remember who I am. Odd thing to wonder. I have no idea where I am and why I'm here. I have no memory whatsoever. Okay. Well, let's see here. Well, suppose I could take this perfectly good coat. Can I open it up first? We need to check it. Open up the pocket. Yes. This is very much bathroom number 1. You raise your non-bandaged hand and write and type, "Hi, Pib." Alright. This is a detective game. We better look at everything. What do we got? Alright, we got 7 quarters. I have a gold-plated lighter. It has the initials J and S on it. How about some gum? It's a piece of chewing gum. It's sugarless, of course. Because why wouldn't it be sugarless? You have the strangest sensation that you've seen this game before. Oh, perish the thought. It's a handkerchief with the initials J and S on it. Looks like a pair of sunglasses. The lenses are very dark. A wallet. It's a very fine leather wallet. Looks very expensive. Let's open up the wallet. Why am I not in color but the game is? Well, it's all about the presentation, you see. And it means that all the colors here don't have to coordinate. Let's see, we have a key. Let's have a look at that. It's a key with the word office inscribed on it. It's a card with several holes punched into it. It says private access card, penthouse, Siegel. And a $20 bill. Alright, let's take all this shit. Leave the wallet. Take the 20 bucks. Take this punch card. Let's take that key. Bet you it's gonna be somewhat important later. Alright. Close up the wallet here. Alright. Suppose we don't actually need the wallet. Let's take the sunglasses. Really, we're just gonna take everything. Then we're gonna take that perfectly good coat because we can't just leave it here. Give me the gum. The lighter. And I took the coins. You never knew when 7 quarters would come in handy. You never know. You might have to very aggressively decide something that would involve 7 quarters. You took the coat. There's nothing more handy than a .38 at your side. I removed the pistol I removed the holster and put it on. Kept it on. Then I examined the toilet paper. I felt incredibly compelled to do so for some reason. It's a full roll of toilet paper. It adds a civilized touch to these barbaric surroundings. Current death count 0, current arrest count 0. Yes, we should check the gun. You never know. It's a .38 special. Go ahead and make your day. Okay, but can we open it? How many rounds we got here? We open up the gun. 3 bullets. Okay. Not 6, but I'll take it. Alright, suppose I should open up the door. Unrealistic. There's no graffiti in this stall. Open the door. Alright, step on out. See what we got over here. At least the gun's loaded, yes. You wouldn't want to have an empty gun. We're in the washroom. From the looks of it, I figured the janitors must have been on strike. Because, you know... Or wouldn't they be? I want to examine the sink with its 2 lovely faucets. Or they were fired. It appears to be a sink. That's what I get for asking, I suppose. Let's check the mirror. I saw myself in the mirror. I again was faced with the stark realization that I couldn't recall just who the hell I was. Surely at some point I'd have to try to consider figuring that out. I opened up the door. Where did it lead? We'd find out. And then I'd have to channel Carlito's way and bluff my way out of a gunfight, yeah. You think you big time? You're gonna die big time! I'm in a dingy hallway. Very dingy. There was some kind of fluid on the floor. I had a look. There's a puddle on the floor. It appears to be coming from the women's washroom. Let's hope it isn't someone with trouble. It's just a crack in the wall. There doesn't seem to be anything unusual about the crack in the wall, obviously. I rested my hand upon the knob. No, I'm fine. Placed my hand on the knob, turned it, so I could examine the source of the extraneous fluid. I stepped inside the women's bathroom. I was aghast to discover that the women's bathroom also had a trash receptacle. The men's bathroom did not. It's a large metal wastebasket. I leaned in further to check the contents. Whole lot of nothing. Why would I be surprised at this? Alright. I elected to open up the door to the women's stall. I decided to take a careful look inside. There was indeed a toilet. I saw a crack in the toilet and water was pouring out of it. We'd have to get a plumber. The entire casing would have to be replaced. I examined the liquid. It was the water that was coming out of the toilet. I examined the crack in the toilet. It had a fresh crack. The water leaks from it and ends up in the hallway. I elected to see if I could open the lid. I am relieved that I found nothing inside. James Sunderland would be proud. I elected to also check the roll. You never know. There could have been a zip gun hidden inside. Looks like it hasn't been used yet. It's Sunday, that plumber's gonna cost you. It sure is. I decided that there was no way I was gonna discover who I was inside the ladies' room. I stepped back out. And I died because I left the seat up. There's nothing unusual about this hallway, apart from the cracks and all the extraneous fluid. I placed my hand upon the knob and opened the door at the end of the hallway. And then I reached very slowly for the move command and stepped through. I found myself in a dark, empty bar. Obviously it was closed, or else I'd scared everyone away. I was known to have that effect on people. I checked the drink on the counter. Just a shot glass full of seltzer. I figured I'd see if I could make use of that sort of thing. I can't use what I haven't taken. I decided to take the entire glass of seltzer and place it in my pocket. Then I felt compelled to see if I could drink the damn thing. What would I like to use the seltzer on? I'd like to use it on myself. I quickly downed the seltzer. Ugh, this stuff tasted terrible. Why would anyone drink this stuff? I felt for some reason perhaps I should create a record of what was going on. You know these movies, there's always got to be some tiny thing that you have to pay attention to or else it'll come back to bite you in the butt. I attempted to read the sign. It appeared to say Joe's Bar, but it was written backwards for some reason. As opposed to stepping outside, I elected to go up the stairs. I found myself in the upstairs hall leading to a door. On the wall were some posters of some fighters. I felt very dazed. I better do something about it. My memory loss was making me feel weary. felt like I'd been up for days without any sleep. Only worse. Decided maybe I'd have a look at these posters, see who it was. It's a poster of some boxer named Doghouse Riley. I hadn't heard of him. I must have assumed he wasn't very good at his job. It looked like a poster of me, but then I couldn't remember who I was. The name underneath it said Ace Harding. It didn't ring a bell. Not immediately, anyway. I decided to round out the group and examine the third poster. It was a poster of Puff McMuffin. World Heavyweight Champion. You wouldn't think it from a name like that. I suddenly realized this guy collected pictures of Z-list boxers. We decided to open the door, see where this led, and we took a step inside. You could say it didn't cause déjà vu. I found myself in a reception room, or a secretary's office. The odor of cheap perfume still lingered in the air. Decided to have a look around. I saw a perfectly functioning phone. I had nobody to call, though. There was nothing unusual about the phone. I elected to have a look at the desk. Inside, there was some kind of an envelope. I wanted to have a good look at it. It looked like the standard legal size envelope. You know, for standard legal size paper. You know, the paper that your printer gets tripped up on whenever you accidentally try to print something that sized. Puff McMuffin. You'd think it was corn puffs with an egg McMuffin. I opened up the envelope. There appeared to be some kind of a bill inside. Figured maybe I'd have a closer look at it. It was a bill from a doctor. It was a bill from Dr. Brody made out to Joe's Bar, address 934 Sherman Street, Chicago, Illinois. The bill. For capsules, $10. Sodium pentothal, $56. Medrazine, $26. Diphenol trimane, whatever. It was $40. The punchline is it all led to $132. It sounded familiar, but I couldn't be certain. I jotted down the address of Sherman and took the bill. Memory loss, priceless. For some things, money can't buy. For everything else, there's Dupercard. I attempted to open the door. It was locked. Upon realizing I was in a reception office, it stood to reason that was an office. I recalled I had a key that said as much. I decided to use it on the door. See if it would work. Click. The key did in fact function. I stepped inside. I was somewhat aghast inside the office when I located a dead guy. His left hand gripped a phone receiver. It appeared the wire had been cut. There was something in his pocket. I don't know how I spotted that from this side of the room, but for some reason I just knew that. He's not dead. He's sleeping. Well, I elected to check his pulse. It's a man who appears to be lacking something, namely life. There's also 3 bullet holes in him. He's still gripping a receiver in his left hand. He suggests a memory. You should feel as though you should be able to recall who he is. I counted the rounds. 3. I had something of a stark realization that my 6-shooter only had 3 rounds remaining in it. I elected to open the body up and see what was inside. I opened up his pocket. There was some kind of a key inside. I needed to have a better look at it. The key had a Mercedes-Benz trademark on it. I was wondering how on earth the lawyers got that passed. I would have thought that would have required some kind of a licensing deal. A detective's first reaction to a dead guy is, what's in his pockets? Well, maybe his wallet's in there. Could have used some identification. I took the key. You never knew when a spare Mercedes-Benz might come along. I also took a look at the phone. After all, the wire had indeed been cut. It's an old-fashioned telephone. The cord hangs limply from it. I decided to use the other 3 bullets in him. What would it hurt? It's an old-fashioned telephone. The cord hangs limply from it. I had apparently examined it twice. Through the window, I have access to a fire escape. What was that other thing next to it? I didn't know what that was. What the hell was it? It was a wall safe with a combination lock. I didn't know the combination. I decided to see if maybe I could open up the blinds. Yeah, I did it. I was in fact able to open up the blinds. I just wanted to check to make sure he was dead. Who am I speaking to? My thoughts exactly. I decided for a laugh maybe I'd take a step out on the fire escape. This isn't exactly how I pictured my morning. I was on a fire escape. When there's a fire, I would use it to escape. Or so I felt compelled to note for no good reason whatsoever. I took a step forward. I was still on the fire escape, amazingly enough. I'm standing on the 3rd floor fire escape. I have a breathtaking view of the alley below. All the things I could see if there were bums down there. I decided to open up what clearly appeared to be a window in front of me. Because clearly this was the intended route. Oh my goodness. What kind of a room was this? It looks weird. I don't know if that's the word I would have chosen, but apparently that was the one that sprung to my head. I decided to have a close look around. It looks like an unusual chair. It had restraints for the arms and the head. Perhaps it's a dentist's chair, I told myself somewhat sarcastically. I had a look at whatever these jars were. It's an empty medicine vial. Sodium pentothal is written on the label. What had it been used on? The other one also said medrazine. Then the final one had diethanol tremine on it. Sounded familiar, but I couldn't remember why. Then I remembered about 2 minutes later I looked at a bill that had as much written on it. I wasn't entirely certain if it was worth it to take the capsules, but I decided to anyway. But then I decided it was empty and that would be massively pointless. I elected to have a look at the trash can. It was a wastebasket. It was nice and plastic. Blue was the color. I opened up the wastebasket. What on earth was inside? Some capsules. Capsules. Doctors put medicine in these for patients to take. I was apparently having a very odd moment when I thought that. I decided to have a further look at them. Clearly I was a doctor who'd be able to tell these things. There was a little medicine left in the capsule. It was obviously used for something. I had a hunch that there was a connection between myself and the capsules. Slow clap indeed. I elected to take the capsules. You never knew when maybe you just want to take random drugs you found laying around. Because that's always a good idea. I took the capsules thinking that they would come in handy later. With nothing else to do, I decided to look at that chair one more time. It still was an unusual chair, and it still had restraints for the arms and the head. For some reason, I still felt compelled to call it a dentist chair. Stop trying to be educating, game. Random drugs equals... Please don't. Y'all know anyway. I looked at this. What was this? It's an elevator button. I decided perhaps I should hit the elevator button. Whoosh. The elevator door slid open. I stepped inside. I was inside the elevator. Where did I want to go? I figured maybe I'd examine the buttons. There's nothing on the button. I didn't find that tremendously helpful. I decided to push perhaps the second button from the top. You feel legally compelled to highlight the previous statement as pure sarcasm for those who may watch the VOD later. When the button is pressed, the elevator started moving. Within moments, the elevator stopped and the door opened. I poked my head out to see what was going on. Unfortunately, there wasn't much I could gather from that, so I actually had to step outside. I found myself back in the office with the dead guy. As I left the elevator to enter the room, the wall slid shut behind me, sealing off the elevator. Obviously, this elevator was used as a secret means to get in and out of this office. The elevator head started to move. I found myself tremendously annoyed at the fact that now I'd have to go up the gosh darn fire escape again. But these were trying times, and and you had to go with what worked. I stepped back inside the odd room. I'm inside the weird room. For some reason, I decided that was the most apt way to put it. I hit the elevator door button once again, as opposed to just using it. One knows you're always supposed to hit the elevator door button. I stepped inside once again. I was inside the elevator. I decided maybe this time I'd hit the second button from the bottom. Just had to be very careful where I was putting the little thingy-mabobber. Of course, we didn't have fast travel with the 40s, so we made do. When the button was pushed, the elevator started to move. Within moments, it stopped and the door opened. I again tried to stick my head out to see where I was going, so this wasn't another trap. But evidently that sort of information just couldn't be gathered unless I actually stepped out the door. I was standing in front of the elevator. For some reason, this constituted progress. You fiddled with the onion on your belt. It was the style at the time. I found myself in a casino. There was nobody around. I decided to have a closer look at the roulette table. The roulette wheel could really send my mind spinning. And I had a look at the slot machine over there. It was a slot machine. Did I feel compelled to try my luck? For some reason I did. And I also felt compelled to create a record of whatever was going on right now. I remembered I had several quarters in my coat pocket. I elected to drop one in and see what happened. Forget roulette, let's do some blackjack. And hookers. You know what, forget the blackjack. I was somewhat aghast at the fact that I was suddenly playing Super Mario 2. I seemed to have no luck. On Mario 2, that still wouldn't have been a successful roll. The cherry would have had to have been in front. I decided I wasn't done here, and I elected to try my luck once again. I wanted something good. I wanted a couple more quarters. I really wanted my pocket to sing when I walked around. This didn't look like a winning hand. I continued to have no luck. But damn it, I was going to try again. For some reason, I felt like perhaps I would need a small cache of funds later, and that this wouldn't have been a bad idea. Watermelon. Banana. Bar. I would have thought that would have been a successful combination, but for some reason it just wasn't. I decided maybe I'd keep going. Papa wanted his free life, and damn it, he was gonna get it. Eggplant. 7. Bar. This was some kind of code that I couldn't immediately decipher. I elected to keep going. If anything else, it would have rid my pocket of quarters. Lemon. 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 I had apparently won a small cache of funds. You know what they say, when life gives you lemons, you win the jackpot. I decided maybe this machine is suddenly hit it lucky, and I'd elected to keep going. What was I gonna get? We had a bell. Not a bell. And the watermelon. This would not stand. I needed my pocket to sing. I needed to have a wallet that clanked whenever I walked around so that people would know when I was coming. I rolled a bell. I rolled another bell. Would luck be so kind? It would. The machine clanged and sang a victorious tune, and I was awarded 16 coins. I decided I wanted one more solid victory out of this before I threw in my hat. I placed another quarter inside. I achieved a 7. An eggplant. And the bar. It was clearly trying to tell me that I needed a drink. But these were trying times, and alcohol just wouldn't have made any sense. And then I wanted to see what I would get. The bar. Once again, it wanted me to drink. A 7. It wanted me to drink 7 drinks. And then it really wanted me to ring the bell for some reason. Clearly, it was speaking to me in code. I gave it one more shot. I really felt like this was going to be the lucky one. I put on my lucky cigarette. It wasn't lit, because the thing was fake as all hell. I determined I had the wrong lucky cigarette in my mouth. Figured maybe I'd spit it out. Victory continued to elude me. Another legal PSA, please gamble responsibly. I knew that I wasn't playing with my own money, so that's why I felt compelled to keep going. The worst thing I was going to do is I was going to use up somebody else's 7 quarters. Also, smoking is bad for you, yes. Always use fake cartoon cigarettes. But Elliot Ness and his band of untouchables declared that the bar was illegal, so I felt compelled to obey the law. Watermelon. Banana. Bar. I continue to have no luck at this endeavor. My cohort went over and examined the fake cigarette. I warned her that there was a cotton puff in the end, and if she put it in her mouth, she'd get a wad of cotton. Were we playing with blind rules? I felt compelled to let everyone know that I had a rough outline going on that let me know if perhaps I was going too far off the beaten path. But I really, really, really wanted another victory here. I had a lemon. I had another lemon. I was feeling lucky. I got 3 lemons. Mega Man would have been so proud. I hit the jackpot. I got 10 coins. For some reason, 30 felt like a lovely number. I thought maybe I'd give it one more shot and just really waste all my time here. I knew there were more pressing issues. I didn't know who I was. I was likely holding a murder weapon. The cops were probably on their way, but I just really wanted some more money. And the machine continued to deny it of me. For some reason, I thought maybe I could just knock the thing over and pick the coins out myself. There was nobody here. Who would stop me? But I decided I'd done enough rule-breaking clearly for one day. I rolled a bell. I rolled another bell. And I got 3 bells in a row. This would have been what, 16 coins? I think that's what it was. It was indeed 16 coins. I decided maybe I'd pack it in for now. My pockets sang an ungodly tune of Jingle 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 Bells. And I decided maybe I'd create another record of what was going on. And I really, really wanted to make sure I was pushing the correct button when I was doing that. Alright. I decided maybe I'd take a step out of here. But then I decided I wanted to look at what this thing was. It was bothering me up in the corner. Me and Lady Luck were in an on again and off again relationship. I told her it was on again. She didn't have a say in the matter. It was a door. Shockingly enough, I elected to try to open it. It won't open. I guessed it couldn't be opened from that side. I decided to take a step back. I found myself once again in front of the elevator. I decided I'd go ahead and step back inside. It was then I realized that when the Kit Kat Club sang "Money Makes the World Go Round," they were speaking of excrement. I realized that for some reason the elevator doors had stayed open the entire time, which goes against everything I've ever known about an elevator. I wasn't sure if I should keep going down. I didn't know if the casino was in the basement. I didn't want to know what was underneath the basement itself. I wondered if maybe I should consult with higher authority. I decided to just think on it for a moment and wonder where I should have gone from there. For some reason I felt compelled to go check out the front of the bar again. You never knew. There could have been more alcohol in there. And you never know when you were going to need another bottle of alcohol. But there was no direct access to the bar from here, and I felt confused. I decided I'd go back to the bar. But in order to do that, I'd have to see the dead guy again, giving me a stark reminder of truly what was at stake here. I stepped back out of the elevator, and waited for the whoosh. There was indeed a whoosh. The elevator was gone. I bid James adieu for the moment. The devil's tunes and liquor haunted one particular button. I stepped back a few rooms. I needed to get back to the ground floor. I found myself there. There appeared to be 2 doors in front of me. One led to the exterior. I wasn't sure where the other one went. I decided to jimmy the lock. But I didn't need to, for it was already unlocked. I stepped inside. Ooh, I found myself in a wine cellar. The place looked like it could use a good sweeping. I examined the words that said vino. I wondered if maybe it was an acronym, but instead it was merely a bottle of wine. I decided to examine the spigot. It was indeed a spigot. I elected to make some use of it. I was thirsty after all, and what would a little wine do to me? You couldn't do that. I decided to have a close look at the cobweb. Maybe it was a fake cobweb. It's a spider web, but no spider. I decided to check the light bulb. Maybe it would give me an idea. It was just a standard light bulb. Or an incandescent lamp, as they used to be known. Never noticed the Vino label as a kid. I decided to have a look at these wine bottles. It was a wine rack. The bottles were very dusty. One of the bottles on the right-hand side appeared to be quite clean. So I had to look more closely. Which one of these was the offending bottle? I saw nothing unusual there, except for the lack of dust. How peculiar. Perhaps it was a fresh vintage that had been left there. I elected to make use of it. Yo, Tracy, what the fuck was this, I wondered. How you doing? I elected to use the offending bottle. What did I think I was doing? How does one use a bottle when you don't have it? I took it. I couldn't take it either. I decided to hell with it and just took a good swing at it. Socko, it went. When I moved the bottle, the whole wine rack slid to the side. A secret passageway was revealed. Violence was clearly the answer. If I was truly a boxer, I'd have to make more use of this fact. I heard a burp off in the distance. That clearly meant somebody was nearby. It truly was an excessive way to open a door. That door looked familiar. I took a closer look at it. It was indeed truly a door. I attempted to open it. The door did in fact open from this side. I tried to peek my head through. But it wasn't having that. I'd have to step through in order to know. I found myself back in the casino. I decided to go back the way I'd come. That ladder skeeved me out for some reason. I took a look. It was a shaft with a ladder inside, heading straight down. There was a nasty smell rising from it. I didn't want anything to do with it, so I decided to go back upstairs. In this damp and dreary wine cellar. I stepped back into the bar, and decided perhaps I'd remember things once again. I tried to open the front door. It wouldn't open. It was locked. I took a closer look at the second set of keys. It didn't do me any good. I decided maybe I'd have to try the fire escape. I also felt very dazed. I'd better do something about it. My memory loss was making me feel weary. Felt like I'd been up for many days without any sleep. Only worse. As if somehow it could be worse to be up for several days without sleep. I stepped back into the office of the dead guy. It was the third time I'd laid eyes on him. One for every bullet that was currently sitting inside him. I'd completely forgotten that I hadn't bothered to check the desk he was slumped on. I opened it up. Saw a pencil and some keys. I decided to take a closer look at the pencil. It was a common number 2 pencil, or so I was led to believe. You never knew when you were going to have to write on something, so I took it with me. There could have been some kind of a time limit on my brain. I didn't know. All I knew is I was going to have to do something to address that. I examined the key. It was marked front. I found this to be a positive thing to have. I took it, and decided to make my way back downstairs. Whole lot of walking going on here. I was wondering when the police would turn up. They must have been on strike as well. I fumbled around for the key I just acquired, but found myself in the address book instead. I decided maybe I'd look the other way. I found the keys clanging around somewhere around the 37 some odd quarters I was carrying around, and used it on the front door. The key unlocked the front door indeed. I decided to take a step out. I was on the street in front of Joe's bar. I couldn't see anybody. I was aghast at suddenly how many areas I could access here. I wasn't quite sure what to make of it, so I decided to keep looking around. It was the front door to a Mercedes. How coincidental that that's what I was carrying around. There was also a manhole cover. It did not look out of place in the middle of the street. I was wondering if I was going to need the mythical rod from Final Fantasy I to open it. Evidently not. I was able to just lift it off myself. Did I really feel compelled to step inside? I didn't think so. I decided to see what was directly behind me. Except that wasn't directly behind me. Apparently that was the sewer. I decided I'd had enough of that and climbed back out. Found myself with a guy right in front of me with a gun. I saw a mugger in my way. He wanted all of my money. It might be wise to give it to him. I decided I wasn't gonna have any of his shit and smack that guy right in the face. A quick jab to the mugger's eye stuns him. He runs down the street shouting, "I'll be back." I was standing in the street in front of the bar. I was hoping that he wouldn't come back with a friend. I decided to see what was over to my right. A woman came out of nowhere and said, "It's been a while. I just got out of prison. I wanted to pay our old friend Siegel a visit, but only found his car out front, so I prepared a little surprise under the hood. Something to even the score. I got my little surprise in my purse for me, too." I wasn't sure what kind of surprise was going to be what kind of present was going to be in a purse. I decided to look at her more closely. Evidently, I'd been shot. I was too late. She'd used a gun from her purse to plug me full of holes. From the beginnings, the odds were against me. It was only a matter of time until I reached the end. I was, in fact, history. I decided maybe that wasn't how I was going to do things, and I decided to reconsider my course of events. I continued to go back over there. I stood in front of a police station, which was confusing because that wasn't what was there before. I decided maybe I really didn't want to step inside a police station right now, and I kept going. I had just fallen into a deep construction pit. I really should have watched where I was going. I am part of history. I do love history. I found myself dead again. Apparently I'd paid no attention to where I was walking. So I decided maybe I wouldn't go that way. I'd go the other way. The death count was unofficially at 2. This was in fact no time to be dead. I decided maybe I'd see what was over on the left. I was in front of a newsstand that was open for business. This might not be the best time to brush up on current events. I elected to speak to the gentleman. "It's 25 cents a copy if you want to take the far right one on the bottom," says the newsboy. Decided maybe if it was only 25 cents, I would in fact pay him for it. I gave him the coin. I was gonna pay, but the boy says, "Take what you want. You can pay later." I didn't want to be in debt to a paper boy, but I did need to find out what was going on. I took the newspaper. I apparently also compensated him for it. "Thanks a lot," said the newsboy cheerfully. The newsboy said, "The cops have been roaming around the area looking for suspicious characters. They got a call from some dame who lives across the street from Joe's bar. She told them that she saw some funny goings-on around there, and she gave a description that fits you. I'd better watch my step." Surely it was poppycock. I examined the newspaper. The headline read, "The Japanese bomb Pearl Harbor." I decided to open up the newspaper. Apparently I couldn't do that. This wasn't the kind of opening newspaper. "Now is not the time to be dead." That was all you heard during your Catherine playthrough. I decided to take one more step to the left. I ran into a bum who blocked the way. He stood so close that my eyes watered. The following words dribble out of his mouth. "I got a scoop. Something that'll save your life, if it's worth 50 cents to you." I frankly needed to lighten the load of quarters in my pocket, so I elected to give the man what he was requesting. I withdrew a coin and placed it in his general direction. The bum gladly took the money, looks around and says, "Joey's hitman has been looking for you. I got word that he's waiting in your office." Joey. The letters J and S somehow had more meaning. I elected to look at the trash cans that were behind the bum. It looked like a trash can. I felt compelled to open it. I opened up the wastebasket. There was nothing inside. I felt a little bit silly. I elected to speak to the vagrant one more time. "Heh heh heh, 50 cents is a small price to pay for my life," he said, muttered the bum. So I had to take one more step to the left, hoping that there wasn't a construction zone over there. Found myself in front of a guns and ammo shop. Pete's all-night gun palace? I decided to see if maybe the front door was open. It was the entrance to the store. I decided to open up and go inside. This was America. I figured I could use a gun and some ammo. I was inside Pete's all-night gun palace. The guy behind the counter says, "You want something?" I decided to have a look around. There was a gun. Standard military-issued German Luger. I found this particularly perplexing. Because if the Japanese had just bombed Pearl Harbor, we hadn't officially entered World War II yet. So why was there a military-issued German Luger here? Those typically came back to the States as war trophies. I decided this wasn't really worth putting more thought into. It looked very much like a 9mm cartridge. I elected to speak to the gentleman. Where did you get this gun? The guy behind the counter says, "Can I help you or what?" I thought perhaps this $20 bill would be quite fortuitous, so I elected to make use of it. I handed the $20 bill to the gentleman. I was gonna pay, but the boy says, "Take what you want, you can pay later." It was one of those operations. I decided to pick up the gun. I took the gun 3, which suggested that there was a gun 2. Thanks for the $20 bill. I gave him the money. I decided to open up the gun, check how many rounds were inside. There were no bullets. I wondered if maybe we could make an arrangement for the bullets. I tried to take one. I got 1 bullet. Thanks for the quarter. Apparently each bullet was only worth a quarter. The man behind the counter had spunk. I examined the rounds on the other side. They were 38 special round-nosed lead bullets. I decided I wasn't entirely certain if I needed a whole bunch of those bullets for the guns. I decided to think on it for a moment. How many rounds would I need for one gun versus 1 round for the other? I decided maybe I could use some 38s. So I decided to buy them. Alright. I elected to try and use those bullets on the gun. But I'd have to use them on the proper gun. I was a little bit horrified the fact that I just used the bullet on myself, but since it wasn't in the gun, we were okay. I loaded the gun with a bullet. I decided maybe I should do that one more time. And I also placed the gun in the bullet. My 6-shooter now had a whopping 5 rounds in it. I took the last bullet. I wonder if maybe it went with the Luger I just picked up. It evidently did. I decided I'd had enough of this and stepped out. I found myself in front of the drunk guy again. I wondered what his deal was, so I spoke with him again. He was clearly already satisfied. I took a step to the left. I found myself in front of the gun and ammo place again. I took another step to the left. I found myself in front of the mugger again. His black eyes shine as a souvenir of my last encounter. Okay, hotshot. I wouldn't try that again if I were you. Give me your money now. I'd had enough of his shit and popped the guy again. A swift jab of the mugger's left eye sent him reeling back in pain. He quickly ran away. This is Peoria Street. A blue cab was waiting. I decided to bear that address in mind for some reason, and I kept moving left. I found myself still on Peoria Street, with another cab. You were concerned that there was a drunk outside the gun shop. I thought for a moment. I decided maybe I needed to go back and check that Mercedes. It was still an open lead after all. The woman who had shot me in a previous life had alluded to there being something special about that vehicle. I decided it needed closer inspection. I fumbled through my pockets, past the millions of quarters I was holding for the Mercedes key. And I elected to use it on the vehicle. The door was unlocked, so I could step inside. I saw nothing unusual about the plush interior of the Mercedes-Benz. I decided maybe I wasn't going to start the car. She did tell me there was a bomb in it after all, even though she hadn't officially told me that, because if she had told me that, there was a chance I'd be dead already. But for some reason I knew this information anyway. You're surprised I didn't feel the need to record my adventure thus far. I decided maybe that was a good idea. And I decided to examine the glove box. It was objects, and there may have been objects in the glove compartment, but probably no gloves. What a smart-ass comment. I actually opened it up. I opened up the dashboard. There was a note, a map, and a snapshot. I elected to check the note. It was a car registration made at the Joey Siegel of 1212 West End Street. I jotted the address down. I checked the street map. The way to Joe's bar was marked in ink. The address was 1060 Peoria Street. The writing on the map reads, Ace, follow this route. That way you'll know if you're being followed. Be careful. You don't want the cops to find Mrs. Sternwood in the trunk. Mrs. Sternwood was in the trunk. What was going on? I checked the snapshot. There's a snapshot of a 400-pound woman. I felt as though I should have recognized her. I wasn't entirely certain if I should take you to the map or the snapshot, but I decided maybe the map was important. I elected to take the map. I thought on it for a moment. I decided maybe I'd leave the snapshot, and I stepped out of the vehicle. But then again, for some reason, I just decided, you know what, I really want that picture. You never know when a picture's going to be handy after all. Supposedly it was worth 1,000 words, but then I wasn't sure what 1,000 words was truly worth. I elected to take the note and the snapshot. They say the picture's worth 1,000 words, but what's the exchange rate on words and dollars? I stepped back out of the vehicle. I was a little concerned that maybe there was a Mrs. Sternwood in the trunk of this thing. The door was in fact open, but it wasn't taking the hint. I wondered where the hell this led. What did I think I was doing? Could I open the trunk? The door was open. I wasn't getting the hint at all. My training at the School of Sierra may have paid off. I decided maybe I needed to start checking out some of these addresses, and I elected to move left. I kept going. I saw the drunk crossing the street once again. I found myself in front of the ammo shop. I kept moving. I found myself in front of the blue cab. Decided to speak to the driver. What did I think I was doing? I wasn't quite sure what I was doing. Could I move inside the cab? Evidently I could. I was in the back of the cab. The hack in front seemed nervous. I spoke to him. The driver said bluntly, "Hey mister, where you want to go?" I decided I'd check out the West End address. The cabbie accelerated. As I arrived at the destination, he looked at the meter and said, "Here you go, you owe me 75 cents. I was more than pleased to get rid of some of the 37-odd coins that were continuing to jingle around in my coat and give away my position, so I dropped them into the coin slot. The driver began counting the fare. 1, 2, 3 quarters. Thanks a lot, pal. And I stepped out of the vehicle. I was outside the entrance to the expensive-looking Stanford Arms. I decided to jot these notes down. You never knew when it was going to be important after all. I took a closer look at that door. The door was closed. I decided to see if it would just open if I asked it nicely. It did. I was immediately concerned at that. Who leaves an unlocked door like this? I stepped inside. The lobby looked extremely clean. The white pillars added a nice touch. A text message arrived on this odd device that I felt compelled to look at immediately, for it seemed related to something not immediately pertaining to the stream. I took note of it and set it aside. And then wiped my eyes for some reason. I started to take a look at these columns. Those were some lovely columns. There didn't seem to be anything unusual about the columns, but there was something unusual about the private elevator. It was an elevator, but it appeared to operate differently. I decided maybe I'd hit that button. What? My hand is numb from the impact. I decided maybe I couldn't hit that and maybe just examine it. It appeared to be a slot for something. It looked like a slot for a card or something. I remembered. Item number 1, card. I decided to make use of it. I removed the card slowly from my coat pocket and put it in the thingy. As soon as I put the card in the slot, the elevator door swooshed open, so I could step inside. I was inside the elevator. I decided to have a look at this thing. It looked just like the same slot, so maybe I was supposed to use the card on it again. That felt a little redundant, but these were trying times, you see. I put the pass card in the slot. The elevator door slid shut and began moving. I had no choice but to go along for the ride. That was how an elevator worked, after all. The elevator stopped and the door slid open. I decided to peek my head out. I'd had no luck with it before, but I thought maybe now was the time. It wasn't paying off. I'd have to actually step outside. I was in a penthouse. I instantly felt that the owner of the place was well off. I saw a really nice picture on the other side of the room. There's nothing like a great work of art for inspiration. And that was some kind of naked dame over there. I wondered what was this thing. It was a chandelier. I was a little surprised it was a chandelier. It looked like there was some damage on the wall instead. I looked at the mirror. It was a big, round, well-polished mirror. There was nothing else to draw on it from that. There was a desk. I elected to open it up. What did I think I was doing? I was trying to open the desk, except it wasn't a desk, it was a fireplace, and I was a fucking Nimrod. There was a magazine, but I had no time to really read it, which was a crying shame. It was a bookshelf lined with thick encyclopedias and books. There was clearly some trick to this room. I kept looking around. There was a photograph of a very stout-looking brunette. On the back I found an address, 520 South Kedzie Street in Chicago. I figured it was as good a lead as any. I decided to see if I could actually take the picture. I took it. I was a little surprised. I would have thought this room would have had a bed, or anything, but it was apparently just a sitting room, and that's where the elevator led to. I decided to try and take the painting. I couldn't take it. I elected to use it. You never knew if there was something hidden behind it after all. What did I think I was doing? I don't know. I thought maybe there was a secret safe. I took a step back. I found myself back inside the elevator. I was a little concerned that the card wouldn't function as it was supposed to. But then, maybe it figured out what floor we were on, and it would just function properly. So I put it in the slot. The elevator stopped and the door slid open. I stepped back out. I was still here. I decided to create a record of whatever had just transpired here. And then I stepped back outside. The cabbie was still there. Apparently I was his only fare tonight. I stepped back inside. He still seemed pretty nervous. I thought I was a nice looking guy, but you never knew around these parts. This was Chicago after all. He asked me where I wanted to go this time. I decided Kedzie. He accelerated and said that I owed him apparently another 75 cents. This still wasn't the time to stiff him, and frankly, these coins were starting to annoy the crap out of me. I was seriously considering just handing him my entire wallet and saying, okay, this is for every other fare tonight. But I decided maybe I'd wait on that. I stepped back out. We found ourselves on Kedzie Street. It's a bungalow. The garden has grown wild. I decided to look at that tree. That was a mighty fine tree. There doesn't seem to be anything unusual about that tree. Well, I decided to see if maybe that door opened. I was really hoping the cabbie wasn't going to report any of this to the police. The door wouldn't open. It must have been locked. I decided to look more closely at my keys. I realized that I only had 3 keys. The front key, the office key, and the Mercedes key. But then I realized, wait a minute, I'm a detective. What do I do when I don't, what is it that I traditionally do when I don't have the key for something? I withdrew that German Luger. I figured this is where the one bullet was gonna get used. I elected to shoot the lock. I pulled out the gun, I pointed it straight ahead and pulled the trigger. There was Chicago. The sound of gunfire was perfectly normal. The lock was gone, so the door was now open. I stepped inside. I was inside the bungalow. I smelled the same strong odor of cheap perfume. I decided to check the pillow. The bed looked like an army cot. It seemed to have been carefully made, perhaps to help tidy up the place. I looked at the table. It also had a drawer. I figured I'd have to open that later. There was a slip of paper with 3 numbers on it. 33, 24, 36. That might have been a combination. 33, 24, 36. I'd have to try to remember that. Or just see if I could take the damn thing. I took the note. Perfect. I had a strangely present knowledge of future events. Strangely, this knowledge expedited my adventure. I took another look at what was underneath the note. It was a small piece of paper with more numbers, 25, 03, and 45 on it. Perhaps it was for a different safe. I took the note. And then I looked once again at whatever was still on top of this thing. It was a gaudy pair of pearl earrings. I felt as though the person pulling my strings might have been interested in that, but I myself was not. I decided to open up the drawer. What was inside? I found a key and a diary. I looked at the key more closely. It was an unmarked key. I didn't know what it was for. I checked the diary. It was a diary with the name Martha on it. There was a bookmark between the pages. I decided maybe I'd open it up. I opened up the book at the bookmark page. I decided to examine the bookmark. Maybe there was something special about it. It was a bookmark with the initials J and S printed on it. I wasn't entirely certain if I even wanted the damn thing. I felt like maybe I didn't need another thing with that guy's name on it, and I decided not to take it. Martha! I decided maybe I'd take the key, though. Never knew when that was going to be needed. Was there anything else to be done in here? I looked out the window. It was a mighty fine window. It was so grimy, though, that I couldn't see a thing through it. I thus retracted my good window comment. I decided maybe one of those 2 slips of paper had the combination for the safe we'd seen earlier, so I stepped back in the cab. I was in the back of the cab. The hack in front seemed nervous. I spoke to him once again. He asked me once again, "Hey mister, where do you want to go?" I decided I want to go back to Sherman. That was where the bar was, after all. And I decided to give him 3 more coins. At the end of the night, I'd probably give them all to him. I was getting sick of lugging them around. You wonder why all the mothers in the world were named Martha. It was apparently a very popular name at one point in human history. Not so much anymore. I was on a street. It was really quiet around here. I was wondering if maybe I'd gotten confused here. But the door opened up, and I decided to save. I had evidently gotten my locations mixed up. I had assumed that this was the bar. But I decided I'd just step inside, see what gives. I was in the lobby of an office building. There was a hallway in front and a staircase to my left. I decided to check the first floor first, and I took a step over. I found myself in front of an entrance to an office, a Dr. Brody. That name sounded really familiar for some reason. I recalled the bill that had his name on it. The door wouldn't open. It must have been locked. I decided to see if the key I had worked before I pulled out my gun. The key was unmarked after all, so it could have worked on anything. The key did in fact work for Mr. Brody's office. I stepped inside. I was inside the doctor's office. There was nobody around. Perhaps I should wait for a nurse. I elected not to do that. I took a look at the vision thing, just to see if my eyes still worked. I was dropping a few frames. I found this somewhat concerning. But I'd apparently only dropped 177, so I left it at that. If I couldn't read the eye chart from where I was, I should have gotten glasses, which I did have. I decided to see if I could still see what was on it. Hey, EFP LLXIKY apostrophe DL dot. I figured I could still use the glasses. As much as a nurse would have been nice, I had a job to do. I had to figure out what the hell was going on. I decided maybe I should actually examine whatever this was instead of just the wall behind it. It was a file cabinet. There was a combination lock that would keep it safe from would-be snoopers. I decided to try one of the 2 notes I had. The nurse appears. "Hello, nurse," I shouted. She was a fine-looking nurse. That was really all I had to say on the matter. I tried using the first note. Apparently that wasn't it. I tried using the other note. For some reason I felt compelled that just shoving a piece of paper onto a safe knob would just somehow open the damn thing up. I couldn't do that here either. I just decided to just use it normal. I apparently also couldn't do that. What if I just tried opening it? Would it have a prompt? The door wouldn't open. It must be locked. I was starting to get a little bit agitated here. I was getting ready to just hit the damn thing. Of course the damn thing was locked. Why did they think I kept trying to hit it? I'm gonna hit the damn thing. Nothing seemed to happen. Well, the important thing was I tried. I decided I wasn't entirely certain, but the hell with it. I decided to look at the drugs. It was the bisodium medicine vial bottle, and the pneuphil medicine vial bottle, and then another pentothal? The pentothal medicine vial bottle, and another bisodium medicine vial bottle. There was apparently a lot of that stuff in here. The Ophiral medicine vial bottle. Clearly I'd have to take the right one. Medrazine. That seemed pretty important. And a champion. And another pneuphil. Medrazine. The Medrazine was really standing out to me for some reason, so I elected to take it. I decided to double check, make sure that I had in fact taken the correct one. And I did. I figured maybe I'd make a record of this, just in case I did something horribly wrong here. And I elected to take the medicine. I couldn't do that here. I was a little confused as to why I couldn't do that here. I was really getting annoyed at this, so I withdrew my 38. And I decided, if you aren't gonna let me open you up, by God, I'm gonna do it the old-fashioned way. And I shot the combination lock. Miraculously, it opened. Apparently, the combination was 38, 38, 38. The lock was gone, so the cabinet was now open. I decided to have a look inside. It was a patient's chart. Ace Harding, during his last physical, was strongly urged to quit smoking. I decided this note wasn't going to tell me what the hell I was going to do. I checked the next file. Receipt for some things and their prices. There was a final note written by the doctor. Joey Siegel's secretary, Martha Vickers, says she wants the order delivered to Joe's bar. The patient's medical record. Symptoms: fainting, stomach pains, fever, vomiting, symptoms of... peritonitis? Peritonitis. Counts not above 2 yet for bathrooms. High fever, coughing, no appetite, headache, symptoms of pneumonia. I questioned why my first instinct for solving problems was reaching for the gun, but these were trying times. 38 past the hour, motherfucker. That was indeed the combination. I checked the 4th file. It's the medicine's name and its effect. Offerol, medicine used in the treatment of patients with heart murmurs, can be fatal. Medrazine, medicine used in the treatment of patients exposed to nerve gas, could be fatal. I found myself quite thankful that I didn't use it just now. Diethyltramine, a medicine that can cause permanent memory loss if not quickly countered. Sodium bicarbonate, a medicine to counteract the pain of overeating. Chemopapine, medicine used to induce a state of euphoria. Sodium pentothal, with this medicine you can induce the subject into a state of unconsciousness, also called TUMS. He questioned why all these medicines could be lethal. That at the same time makes him or her tell the truth. Bisodiumitis, dianthol, trimine's antidote. More than one dose is necessary to counter. Memory medicine. That sounds kind of familiar. I feel absolutely horrible. I feel like I'm ready to pass out. I better grab the right thing here. Bisodium. Shit, what was it? I think it was the bisodium, but I wasn't entirely certain. Bisodium, bisodium, bisodium. I was pretty sure it was the bisodium, so I decided to take them all. There was nobody here to tell me no. This was America after all. I figured if I wanted to abuse large amounts of pharmaceutical medicine that I should at least put out a disclaimer indicating this was not a proper thing to do under normal circumstances. And I elected to take the medicine. I couldn't do that here. How the hell else was one supposed to use this sort of thing? Oh right, that wasn't how this worked. I still had those spare capsules, didn't I? Alright. So I decided to just take the medicine, go through every single goddamn thing that was in my pocket, and look for those spare capsules we picked up. Because apparently I couldn't just go, I had to actually put it in a capsule. And I elected to use the capsule on myself. A dose of bisodium. The medicine took effect. Memories started rolling in. This one was from my childhood. I hoped that it wasn't the story about the watch being up the guy's ass. It was Father O'Malley from the DeMille boarding school. It was not a pleasant thought. I felt my memory slowly returning, but frankly I could have done without that one. I wondered what else would take me down memory lane, so I decided to take more of the medicine and load it into a capsule. And then I took another hit, just to see where this would get me. A dose of bisodium. Another memory suddenly hit me as the medicine took effect. It's Taco, my pet dog. Say woof, Taco. Want to play? Taco sends me to the hospital for stitches. I suddenly had a craving for tacos. It wouldn't be sated without actual tacos. I wondered what else this would do. So I put a little bit more of it into the capsule. And then I decided to take another hit. He was putting me on the Ritz. He was indeed. I took the last capsule. Another flashback came to me, obviously signaling the fact that my memory had almost returned. It's Susie Q, the girl next door. Susie Q gave me my first kiss. And a couple other things that I'm not going to go into. Suddenly, I felt great. I now realize who I was. Ace Harding, that's it. I'm Ace Harding, Private Eye. Cool. Was there anything else I needed to do? I tried checking the other door. No, apparently that was just all one unit. Congrats, Tracy. Alrighty then. Wasn't sure if maybe I should take a couple of other things, because one of those things sounded like it would be pretty important to have. The Penulthal. I didn't think it was the Penulthal. I'd keep going. I don't think it was the Borealiola, whatever that was. Bisodium for the win. The Medrazin medicine. I didn't know about that. Nah, I didn't think that was it. I wanted the Penulthal. For some reason, I just really liked saying Penulthal and just completely butchering the pronunciation. So I decided to take all of it. I wanted more of the Penulthal. And a little bit more of the Penulthal. I was pretty sure that was all of the Penulthal. Now that I at least had a couple of my marbles back, I decided to take a big step back. I was standing by the entrance to the office. Yeah, exactly. I decided to clear the shelf. Just go on a big old spree there. You never knew. Some of it could have had value when we were done here. I decided, oh, I suddenly forgot that we still had to go upstairs, so I did that. I was standing in front of an office. The words Ace Harding, Private Eye were on the door. Could this possibly be my office? I saw someone's shadow through the glass. I wondered if maybe introducing myself curtly wouldn't have been the proper thing to do. I decided to take a further look. Through the window I could see the shadow of someone inside. I knew that I was in fact Ace Harding, so whoever was in there was either my secretary, who I seem to recall giving the day off, or a malcontent. The gun had done me pretty so far today, so I decided to stick with the winning hand. I pulled out the gun, I pointed it straight ahead, and pushed the trigger. Kablamo! I suddenly realized I was going to need a new door. It had my name on it. I thought, no shit. I have shot whoever was inside the office. I hoped I had the key. The door wouldn't open. It was locked. Was I going to have to shoot the lock too? I probably was. I still got bullets. So I withdrew the gun again. Just kind of rolled my head at this. Then I thought, wait a minute. I still had that other key. I thought to myself, I've gone and damaged my good name. I decided to see where that other key had gotten off to. It had already opened one door here. Maybe I'd get lucky. How I heard was, ow! Damn it, Archer! The key worked. Thank goodness. I didn't want to waste any more of my bullets unless I really had to. I was concerned that I didn't see a body on the floor, so I stepped inside. I saw a pair of legs. I thought maybe they were connected to a body. I saw the dead guy lying on the floor. Too bad I had to do that. So I had to look at the body. He had some nice shoes on. Some nice Gucci loafers. I was a little impressed. The bullet hit him alright. Well, at least it wasn't in cold blood. I wasn't sure a jury would buy that, so I just kind of buried that thought for now. I checked my file cabinet. It looked somewhat interesting, so I elected to open it. I returned. I wondered how stood the bathroom count. I believed it was still at 2. Yes. I opened up the cabinet. I had a couple of files in here. I decided to have a peek. The letter says, Ace, I got a way to get you off the hook. It's just a simple kidnap job. Just pick up this wealthy woman and deliver her to me. I'll collect the ransom while you get to live. Your debt's paid. If you bungle it, you'll take the rap. I got everything planned so that nothing will lead to me. Except, of course, for this incredibly incriminating note. This is the only offer you'll ever get, so decide and call you-know-who. I checked the next note. This file read, Sugar Shack is known to have a hatred for something that Joey Siegel did to her. The file read, Sugar Shack was the blackmailer in the Alderman case. She's doing 5 years. I felt like maybe I'd already seen her at some point tonight. I opened up my desk. There was an ammo case. I took a look at it. It was a mighty fine ammo case. It contained ammo. I decided to open it just in case there was something other than ammunition inside. There was a couple of bullets. You never knew when a couple of bullets was going to be pretty nice to have, especially if I'd have to shoot somebody else. I decided to take the ammunition. Did we kill that guy? For liability purposes, I did not kill that guy. The gun did not kill him either. He died of massive blood loss. The gun had nothing to do with it. I decided maybe I should take that incredibly incriminating note. I felt maybe I'd need it later. I wasn't sure if I was scrolling this the right way. It turned out I was. I took the highly incriminating looking note. I took a little peek out the window while I was at it. It was a window. It was so grimy I couldn't see a thing through it. Apparently I had the same problem with windows the other guy did. So I had to go back to the cab. We still needed to get back to the bar. We had several combinations to try and we hadn't gotten back there in quite some time. I suggest you take that stuff and maybe find a way to get rid of this corpse. I knew a person. They'd get rid of it. I was in the lobby of the office building. There was a hallway in front and a staircase to my left. I decided to step back inside the cabbie. He'd been more than patient. He also apparently seemed incredibly oblivious to all the gunfire he'd been hearing lately. After all, I had shot the lock off the combination lock, and I'd already killed a guy. But apparently this guy just was very hard of hearing. The driver said bluntly, where did I want to go? I decided to check out Peoria. Wondered if maybe that was where the bar was. I owed him 75 cents. Again, I was more than happy to get rid of these coins. And I took a step out. It was Peoria Street after all. I decided to keep moving. There was the drunk I'd already paid money to. I kept moving. There was the paper boy. I'd already paid him for a paper. Apparently the Japanese had just bombed Pearl Harbor. I was back in the street. I needed to go back inside the bar, so I took a giant step in. Nobody was still in the bar, even though I'd left the door wide open. I was a little surprised that the drunk hadn't found his way in here. I went back upstairs. And I needed to reintroduce myself to dead guy number 1. Mr. Joey S., it seemed. There was still the dead body there. I examined it one more time. It's the dead body of Joey Siegel. I got a little queasy looking at it. Yeah, I got shot and I fell in a pit. I was wondering if maybe now was the time to start waving notes in front of a particular safe. So I attempted to find the note and just wave it in front of the safe. Click. It opened. I seem to have hit on the special combination by just waving the sheet of paper in front of it. Shoot him in the head to prevent zombie attacks. I checked the wall safe and I examined the folder. It was a manila folder from the country known for its envelopes. It was a piece of folded paper. I decided to open up the folder. Exactamundo. I saw the note. I examined it. Eventually. It was taking me a second to figure out where to put my finger. It was an IOU. It says Ace Harding owed Joey Siegel $1,000. I didn't remember that debt. I couldn't recall having written anything like that. Whatever. I didn't remember it, and frankly, I didn't want it. I decided to open up the box. What was in the box? It wasn't nothing. Absolutely nothing. It was a key. It said that it was the trunk key to a Mercedes-Benz. I was a little bit confused as to why there would be a key to get into the car and a key to get into the trunk. But then I remembered the existence of valet keys. You would use them when you would hand it off to the valet. If you programmed it properly, it would prevent the valet from breaking into the trunk. Because you never knew. You wouldn't want to just trust the valet with the contents of your trunk after all. So I decided to keep stepping back. Or the glove box, exactly. That key shouldn't have worked after all. Remembering that this particular dot here went for the trunk, I decided to go paging through to look for the proper key. I had a vague idea of what would be inside there, but until I laid eyes on it, I wasn't certain. So I withdrew the key from the giant clump of quarters in my pocket, and I used it on the trunk. I couldn't do that here for some reason. I was a little bit confused at that for a moment here. What if I just waved it physically in front of it? This key wouldn't fit. But that was the trunk of a Mercedes. Unless this is one of those front-engine drive kind of things. I just decided to wave the key around just to see what would happen. That key wouldn't fit. I was very confused and perplexed by this. Oh, apparently I had to be standing directly in front of it. I'm now standing behind the Mercedes, right in front of the trunk. The ass on that thing was gigantic. I realized now I could use the key properly. I placed it in the hole. Put the little finger icon right there. I opened the trunk with the key. My goodness. I decided to have examine this. The gag was made of white cloth. That wasn't my most pressing concern at the moment. It still felt compelled to tell me about the particular gag instead of the fact that there was a woman tied up in the trunk of this thing. It's the biggest woman I've ever seen in my life. She appeared to be unconscious. She's gagged and her hands and feet are tied. She's, really wondering why on earth they had to go into detail about this. I wondered if maybe I should untie her. I also wondered if maybe I was going to have to use the drugs I picked up on her. Alright, I decided maybe I should at least remove the gag. That's a rather large car for a 400-pound woman only takes up a third of the trunk. That was the line I recalled from Analyze This. Oh no, it was Analyze That. Robert De Niro's character was attempting to sell a couple of Lexus. He had opened up the trunk and said, "Look at that. You can fit at least 3 bodies in that thing." I took the gag. I decided maybe I was going to have to use up some more of those capsules. I just had to make sure I used the right one. So I decided to make another note here. Apparently, I had to clear the command first. And then I could make notes. Maybe untie her, yes, and hope that if you help her, she'll agree to not testify. Ay. Anyway. I decided to place Medic 1 in the capsules. Because apparently I couldn't just dump the thing down her mouth. I put the bzl in the capsule, and I administered it to her. The sodium pentothal took effect. The woman started babbling, "Take me home. Please take me home." She was singing a Phil Collins song for some reason, which I found perplexing because the man's singing career wouldn't have taken off for at least another 30 years. 626 Auburn Road. She's "Take me there." She stops talking, falling back into complete unconsciousness. I decided to see if maybe I could close the trunk. Apparently I couldn't close the trunk. I didn't feel right leaving her here. But I decided to see. I figured, what was the worst that could happen? Decided to make my way back to the cabbie. Kept walking. And then I stepped back inside. Little did I know she was West Virginia. And I wasn't about to recount the rest of that particular encounter. Somebody wondered if maybe I should take the yellow cab instead. I didn't know. The blue one seemed like it was doing a pretty good job here. So I decided maybe I'd just, There was something about that particular vehicle that we didn't like. We felt like there was some bad mojo associated with it. Like something explosive. So we decided, we had all these quarters after all, let's keep using them. Decided I want to go to Auburn Road. So I told the cabbie as much. I still continued to only owe him 75 cents, and I was still glad to get rid of all of these gosh darn quarters. Just took me a while to fumble through and find them, after all. Kept fumbling around in my gosh darn pocket, and I found the coins. I got cute with the guy, and I slid a Canadian quarter in there as well. He didn't figure it out. I was pleased with this. I was by a large estate. It looked like Tara from Gone with the Wind. Or Tara? Tara. I realized I'd have to see that movie sometime. I never had. I decided to see if there was anything in the mailbox. I opened up the mailbox. There was an envelope inside. I opened that as well. But the vending machine, it knew. I opened up the envelope. I was already committing a federal offense by opening up somebody else's mail. The cabbie didn't seem to mind, however. This ransom note reads, "Sternwood, we have your wife. You have 24 hours to collect $20,000. If you contact the police, she's dead. Be standing at the corner of Peoria and Elm at exactly 12 midnight. Have the ransom in a briefcase. There you'll be contacted with further instructions." I wasn't sure if I should be carrying around a ransom note. It was giving me some very bad mojo. But I decided what was the worst, and I'd take it anyway. You never knew when a ransom letter would come in handy. Do we leave our trunk open with a bound, ungagged woman and left her there? We may have done something like that, yes. It wasn't the most sporting thing to do. I admitted I did make an attempt to try to close it, but it just wasn't closing. The door wouldn't open. I wonder if this was another opportunity for me to use the gun. But maybe I need to step a little bit closer first. Because admittedly, I wasn't standing near the door. I was at the front door of the mansion. The door had a huge knocker on it. Just the one knocker. One wouldn't do. You would have needed two in order for things to work. I decided to have a look around. I examined the knocker. It didn't really want to elaborate on that at all. Alright, check the keyhole. It just didn't really want to elaborate on it. Just all it was stuck on was the knocker, so I decided to use it. Unless it had cancer or something. I wrapped the knocker against the door. The butler explains that he has strict orders not to let anyone in the house unannounced. Especially with the master asleep. This guy looks like the classic wimp. I decided to take a closer look at him. The butler looks like he could be trouble, but you know you could deck him with a single blow. Lurch, is that you? I decided to speak with him one more time. The butler says in a troubled voice, "There's nothing I can tell you. Please leave." He slammed the door in my face. I wasn't pleased with this, so I elected to use the knocker again. The butler explained that he still had strict orders not to let anyone in. I decided I had enough of his shit, and I gave him a good old smack. I have knocked the butler out with a tremendous punch. He now lies in an unconscious heap. Perfect. I had my lay of the place. I opened up the door over here. I also decided maybe I ought to create a record of the events that had transpired to that point. Then I went on over there. I was in a kitchen. It was quite clean. There were many items. I decided to examine them all. I took a look at this pitcher. It was a water pitcher. There was no water in it, which made me wonder why on earth I'd called it a water pitcher. It could have contained anything. It could have contained lemonade. But it contained nothing, and I continued to call it a water pitcher anyway. Then I noticed there was a little note inscribed underneath that said, This pitcher legally can only be used for water, per federal regulations. I decided I wasn't going to argue with that. It was a small jar. It apparently contained nothing. It was also a small jar. I was really perplexed as to why it wouldn't elaborate about what was in these small jars, so I opened them up. I opened up bowl number 1. It contained sugar. A sweet mixture known to be used in cooking. I just wanted to really make sure that it was sugar. Yuck. Eating all that sugar makes you feel ill. I didn't realize I'd actually eaten the sugar. I decided I didn't need that, so I decided to open up the other jar, the other bowl. It contained flour. I had to make real sure it was flour. A little pasty, but it doesn't taste all that bad. I guess I concluded that it was in fact actually flour. I checked this other small jar. This kitchen seemed to be on the level, but I needed to make sure. Bowl number 3. It had contained nothing. I felt like I'd wasted my life. I checked the plate. There was a bit of sliced sausage. It looked fairly tasty. I wondered if maybe I could eat it. I couldn't use what I hadn't taken. I elected to take the sausage. I figured I could use a snack, so I consumed the sausage. Eating someone's leftover food made me feel a little sick. But you know, free sausage is a free sausage. This pan was made for frying, and that's just what you'll do if you don't stop wasting time. Another memory wave from your childhood comes through. It's Mother! She's baked a cake! Maybe it's your birthday or some other occasion. I was a little bit confused as to why that suddenly came back to me, but whatever. Where's the ham? I wondered if it was inside the oven. There didn't seem to be anything unusual inside the oven, which was a shame. Phrasing was not my forte, and I'd realized what I'd said earlier about sausage. It's a finely detailed porcelain dish. I decided maybe I'd had enough of the kitchen. Everything in there seemed tremendously fine, except for the aged sausage. That schmuck was still on the floor. I decided I'd leave him there and go up the stairs. I was in a hallway with 2 doors. I decided to see if the one on the left would open. Seemed simple enough. I elected to take a step inside. I was in a bedroom. I smelled a cheap, strong perfume odor in the air. It must be a guest room. There was a woman asleep in the bed. A very sound sleeper, apparently. I decided to look. She's a real looker. You recall seeing her before. I figured I'd maybe look at the nightstand. I really hoped that she was a sound sleeper, so I opened up the dresser. I opened up the I saw a memo, ball pen, and some glasses. I elected to check the memo. It's a blank notepad. I noticed that the top sheet of the pad had several indentations on it. Decided maybe I better just take the note. I didn't want to push my luck in this room, so I took a step out. I also tried to see if maybe I could close that door. At this point, I may have added home invasion along with kidnapping and second-degree murder to list of charges that may one day be read off against me. I closed the door. You never knew. You didn't want to risk anything. We had that note with indentations. I recalled picking up a number 2 pencil. Or at least I hoped I had. I checked furiously. Did I in fact have that pencil? I did. Where was that note I had just picked up? The one with the indentations on it. There it was. I still had the sausage for some reason. Using the pencil to shade over the indentations on the pad, you are now able to read the indentations. You'll get there sometime, the adoring fan. I examined the memo. Timetable, 2:15 a.m. Be sure Joe's bar is closed up and all the employees are gone. 2:30 a.m. Have the missus situated in the women's stall. Make sure she is bound and unconscious. 2:45 a.m. Be waiting near the bar front door for Ace's arrival. 3 a.m. Put Ace in the stall. Be sure he's unconscious. Inject him with 10 cc's of... Take his gun and stuff. 3:15 a.m. Wait for Siegel. 3:30 a.m. I realized there was a shitload of things written on this indented memo. Get Siegel behind his desk, then plug him with Ace's gun. Get Siegel's car keys. 3:45 a.m. Plant Siegel's things on Ace. Put Ace's gun back. Be sure his fingerprints are on it. 4 a.m. Dump Big Mrs. in Siegel's car. Put stuff in glove box. Put car key in Ace's coat. Put other key in safe. 4:30 a.m. This is an oddly detailed plan I was going through here. Leave bar and lockup. Be sure not to leave ransom case behind. 5 a.m. On the way home, plant new Siegel letter in Ace's file. What a setup! If you don't do something soon, they'll nail me for kidnapping and murder. Boy, this is a nightmare. I have to get complete proof of my innocence to the cops. The weight of all this was not lost on me. My goodness. Decided to check the other room. You never knew. A lot of heavy stuff had just happened. I felt compelled to create a record of it. I then realized that this plan would assume certain things would happen when they should. I was in the master bedroom. There was a man asleep in the bed. I took a closer look. It looked like Mr. Sternwood's having a nice sleep. It's a briefcase that I recall having carried a while ago. These bastards are gonna frame me. I wondered if maybe I should take the case. I wasn't sure. There's also a sleeping man here, and frankly I thought maybe I'd be pushing my luck if I were to do that. I decided to maybe... You know what? I want the damn thing. I'm gonna take it. I want the case. Take the briefcase. I'm gonna open up the briefcase. I don't give a fuck anymore. Slip in the sausage. I open up the briefcase. There was nothing in the briefcase. I felt silly. I opened up the night blue. There was a tissue, a candy box, and envelope 3. I elected to open up envelope 3. There was letter 2. I examined it, all while this guy continued to sleep. It's a letter that says, Sternwood, this is my final warning. Keep your hands off Vickers, or your wife gets the story. I don't think she'll look upon you so favorably in her will after that. Since Vickers belongs to me, you can pay for her if you want her that bad. She'll cost you 20 grand. Harvey Birdman says, I'll take the case. I decided to hit the guy. Well, no. I was wondering if maybe I could put the briefcase back. I figured I'd just leave quietly. Apparently everybody was feeling really fucking sleepy, and didn't seem to mind the fact that I was unraveling their little murder mystery here. I couldn't see anyone around, so I got back in the cab. I was in the back of the cab. The hack in front seemed nervous. I spoke to him once more. He asked me where I wanted to go. I said we needed to go back to, Peoria. Men talk, the mind taker, eh? Here I am, his 75 cents. I gave the schmuck the money. And then I was able to step out. I want to take another look over to the left here. There was another cabbie here. I was wondering what his deal was. What did I think I was doing? I examined it. The driver's in the yellow cab. He's waiting for passengers. I figured what was the worst thing that could happen, and I stepped inside. I was in a yellow cab. The cabbie looked like a nice guy. The cabbie says, where do I want to go? I decided I was already in the right place. The cabbie says, chuckling, Mister, don't act stupid. This is where you want to go? I decided to step back out. I had no business with the guy. I was a little wondering why there were 2 cabs here. Maybe there was something about the other cab. Ooh, the mugger blocked my way again. This time with 2 nasty shiners. He says, give me my money. I was really getting tired of hitting this guy. I was wondering if maybe I should just shoot him instead. I did have the gun after all. Figured it was worth a shot. But then at the same time, it would take me time to fumble for the weapon. Where's my money, man? He'll shoot me first, yeah. I decided to use the gun on the gun. Just to clear things out. And I decided to see if I could smack him one more time. A lightning-fast sock hits him in the nose. He stumbles for a moment, then runs away again. I questioned why on earth he kept trying this. He knew it was failing time and time again. I kept moving. I was standing in the street in front of a bar. So I had to step on over here. A woman comes out of nowhere and says, it's been a while. I just got out of prison. I wanted to pay our old friend Siegel a visit, but I only found his car up front, so I prepared a little surprise under the hood. Something to even the score. I got a little surprise in my purse for you, too. I decided I had a pretty good batting average with this. I gave the schmuck 75 bits. I decided to do as... what is that guy's name? I didn't personally approve of this, but I decided to go with the line that, shit, what is that guy's name? Anchorman. He plays a sports guy. Yeah, he plays Champ Kind. What was his name? It's like, I felt compelled to remember it. Anyway, the punchline is he had that line in Ricky Bobby. And I decided to go with the line, just do what men have been doing for thousands of years and hit the woman. I didn't approve of that line, but it seemed pertinent in this situation. So I decided to smack her too. Knowing full well this was not behavior I encouraged otherwise. She's out like a light and her purse drops to the ground. I was standing over the lady I just knocked out. Yes, she got knocked the fuck out. We wouldn't advise standing here much longer. I wonder if it was worth it to check the purse. I decided not to push my luck. I was standing in front of a police station. I realized that with all this odd evidence on me, it probably wouldn't behoove me to speak to them, but I decided to anyway. Or at least I thought maybe I should consider speaking with them. And then I elected to, suppose for a moment what would happen if I had gone inside. Apparently they didn't buy my story. Cuffed by the cops, my story interests them, so they investigate the murder and the kidnapping. Various facts were brought to light. Unluckily, they found your gun. Your fingerprints were all over it, because it was my gun after all. The bullets were the same as the slugs pulled from Siegel's body. Though your story makes Sternwood and Vickers seem guilty, the gun was proof that I was the killer. I was out of luck. I decided maybe that wasn't such a good idea, and I went the other way instead. I figured now was as good a time as ever to go hang out in the hole in the ground. So I went and dropped in. I remembered playing a previous game of this, where I was brought to a spot, and I thanked Z Terrans for the 20 biddies, and Not the Adoring Fan for the 100 biddies, and Magnum Adduin for the 75 biddies, and Not the Adoring Fan for the 50 rippies that we're about to see right here. There they are. I recalled how in Uninvited there was a portion where I could get rid of offending evidence, and I decided maybe that needed to happen here. I was in the sewer. I hoped I was wearing my boots. I wasn't. Alright, I kept moving forward. I was inside the sewer. I'd better be careful where I stepped. Exactly. I realized I was gonna have to think on this. I went with the rule, always go left. Except I just wound out right back where I started, apparently. So I went back. We were in another sewer level. I decided to take a right. This ladder led somewhere. Oh. It led back into the bar. I went back down. Probably get eaten by a crew. So I had to keep moving. I just keep moving to the right. Just keep moving. I was a little concerned that I was just going in a gosh darn circle. So I went back up. And I was definitely going in a circle. I was getting a little frustrated with that fact. I wondered where I was, so I popped the manhole lid. Really could have used some Ninja Turtles at this exact moment in history. I was in the dark alley. I decided this wouldn't do, and went back inside. Ask Aya for directions. She wasn't handy. As such, she wouldn't have been useful here. I was in the deepest part of the sewer. I was concerned that river that ferryman would come across, the one from Shadowgate. It was raining in the sewer, a strong, persistent rain that threatened to wash the sludge of the city. The sewage looked really deep right here. I could probably throw something in there and never see it again. I suddenly realized that I could offload several amounts of offending evidence that I was holding. So I wondered what I should have gotten rid of. I decided that even though the 38 Special had been a gift from my mother, with special pearl grips, limited edition handgun, that it simply had to go. I threw it in the water. But then I remembered that wasn't how that command worked. This was the one time that the leave command was the appropriate thing to do. I admitted that I was destroying evidence, but there was no record of the fact that I was destroying evidence. Unless, of course, there was a group of people watching. But I knew that they could all be compelled to silence. They knew that this was the correct course of action. I got rid of the gun. I decided I also needed to get rid of anything that had Joe Siegel's stuff on it. So I looked for that damn hanky I'd picked up earlier for some reason. And I left it in the water. I was also gonna have to get rid of that lighter. I took one last puff. Just because it was gonna be a while before I could do it again. And I left it in the water. Johnny Tightlips, I saw nothing. Hold on, if I do that, it might cause me trouble later. Apparently, I still needed a lighter for some reason. Was I sure about that? It really seemed like incriminating evidence to me. Was there something I was supposed to burn up? Oh well. I decided to keep going. I examined the sunglasses. The lenses were very dark. They weren't of much use to me, so I decided to toss them as well. I suddenly remembered a frequently asked question. I discarded the sunglasses. I also frankly decided I didn't need the seltzer either. Would I like to recall the exact evidence? I really felt like something inscribed JS wouldn't be a good thing to have the cops catch me with, but I decided to keep going through just in case. I decided I wasn't sure if I'd need a pencil anymore, but I knew there was other things I didn't need to have anymore. Kept looking around. Maybe those keys weren't a good thing to keep carrying around. They were, after all, for a lot of his offices. That map piqued my interest. I wanted to have another look at it again. Yeah, this definitely felt like the kind of thing I needed to get rid of. So, I didn't want anything to do with that. So I also decided to toss that in. I wondered what else I might have that would be considered incriminating. Car registration. Figured maybe I'd toss that as well. I decided I'd also toss the bullets. I'd already gotten rid of the gun that they were attached to, so continuing to have them around didn't seem pertinent. Apparently, tossing the bullets was not the right thing to do. But I was pretty sure I didn't need whatever this snapshot was, and I tossed it. Felt like maybe I wouldn't need this photo either. So I got rid of that too. Keep looking through here. What was file 4? It really stood out to me for some reason. Well, that was key 4. I figured maybe I should hang on to that one. What was in file 5? Evidence of a kidnap job. I decided maybe this definitely wasn't the kind of thing I wanted to have on me. So I elected to throw that in the river too. And hope that it didn't turn up somewhere. FBI, open the door. New phone, who dis? I decided I also really didn't need that briefcase, so I tossed that in too. And I decided that sausage really wasn't sitting too well, so I removed it and threw it in as well. A fish would have enjoyed it greatly. Decided to check the memo. This seemed like the kind of thing maybe I should hang on to. It felt like it would strengthen my case. So I decided to keep it. I had played hide the sausage. Captain Planet was gonna wreck my ass for polluting. I apparently felt compelled to go through the whole memo again, knowing that really I just needed to acknowledge that it's not the sort of thing I should throw away. So I'd also get rid of the gag. I didn't think being caught with a gag around a woman who had been stuffed in a trunk would be a good thing to have on me. The water treatment plant then began to wonder where all this stuff was coming from. And then the water treatment plant wondered why it existed because it was 1950. Did water treatment plants exist in 1950?
Sure, they did.
We weren't treating water in 1950. What would we have treated it for? Everything was healthy and vibrant. Not so much anymore. So I had to keep looking around here. I was beginning to be a little bit concerned. I had some good things on me, but I wasn't sure if I had everything I needed. Felt like maybe I'd forgotten something somewhere. But I decided to just keep cleaning things up here. Save combination, and another save combination. I figured I'd toss the first one. We'd already used it. Apparently I wasn't feeling like getting rid of it. I figured I'd get rid of some of this medicine, but apparently I drew a moral line at throwing pharmaceuticals into the water, which you're encouraged to not do anyway. I figured I'd get rid of the newspaper. I'd already known that Pearl Harbor was bombed, so I got rid of that. I also decided maybe this other gun wasn't worth carrying around. It was empty, after all. So I tossed it in the river. I was trying to remember what key 3 did. Yes, we don't want to create the host. The key for the front of the bar. I figured it wasn't much good anymore. I recall a diary somewhere near the West End. I was just about certain, though, that I'd gotten rid of all the incriminating evidence, but I decided to use the gum. I figured it would do to just use the damn thing instead of throwing it away. I popped the gum into my mouth. After a couple of seconds, it had lost its flavor, but it was also gone. I knew I'd keep the key, though. This bill, however. I felt like maybe it strengthened my case, so I elected not to get rid of it at this time. The capsule still seemed handy. A pencil didn't seem incriminating all on its own here, and I guess I couldn't get rid of the keys. Or any of the medicaments. But I knew the letter and the memo were vital, so I hung on to them. And decided maybe it was time to leave. He wondered to himself if he saw the sleeping woman. He might have. Decided to climb his ass back out of the sewer. And hope that mugger hadn't figured out what was going on. Decided to make my way east. Go back to the cabbie. I still had some quarters left. Or I hoped I hadn't gotten rid of the quarters yet. Kept on walking. I wondered if maybe now was a perfectly good time to patronize the other cabbie. Felt like maybe I should save just in case. We hadn't used him before. Figured I'd see what this would do for us. Stepped inside. And I spoke to him. He seemed like a nice guy. Cabbie said, where did I want to go? I wanted to go to the West End. Cabbie accelerated. He said I owed him 75 cents. I hoped I still had the money. I did. Apparently that was the one thing I hadn't thought to get rid of. So I gave him the... Oh, right. I remembered I had to put it in the pay slot. We wondered if I should buy a new gun, but I don't think that they had another gun. I think that was a one-time thing. I stepped out. We were back in front of the apartment house. I stepped back inside. I hoped I still had the money. I did. I thanked Magnum Anduin for the 75 biddies. I was inside the elevator. I'd hoped that I didn't get rid of the card. I hadn't, which was shocking. I would have thought that was the sort of thing I'd have gotten rid of. I wasn't sure if I had to sneeze or not all of a sudden. But anyway, we kept moving. What's up?
To stare at you long enough and sneeze.
Yes. Yes. If my significant other were to stare at me for an extended period of time, it would compel my body to not sneeze. I was inside the apartment. I looked at that magazine. The magazine did nothing for me, but I continued to look around. There was a bookshelf lined with thick encyclopedias, but I'd never actually opened it. But that didn't do me any good. I apparently also couldn't do anything with the magazine, but I took it anyway. That didn't do me any good. I wondered if maybe there was something in the couch cushions. There was a leather-covered sofa. There was a fireplace, but it was only a decoration because there was no chimney. It's a photo of a gal asleep in the bed. What? I need to keep up this narration the rest of the day even when the stream is done. I took the photo, even though I couldn't tell that there was a photo there. I examined it. It's a photo of a gal asleep in the bed. I decided to hit the painting. That didn't do me any good. I just decided to hit everything in here and see what happened. I go into work like this tomorrow. I was wondering if maybe I was in the wrong place. Or perhaps if I'd missed something. I continued to examine the couch. I recall a door I had to shoot open, which made me realize I was in the wrong place. So then I had to fumble for the card once more. So what's the magazine? Classy Dames Monthly? I don't... See, that was the thing. I had actually tried to examine it, but for some reason I didn't feel compelled to look at it too long. Stuck the card back in the slot. I did recall that Auburn Road was where I'd discharged my firearm previously. The yellow cab was still there. I stepped in. I was wondering if maybe the game gave me 2 cabs so that if I stiffed one, there was still another. He asked me where I wanted to go. I told him I wanted to go to Auburn Road. He said I owed him 75 cents. I was starting to run low on quarters, but frankly I was relieved at that fact. I wouldn't be heard from nearly as far away, and if I kept playing Metal Gear in this place, they wouldn't at least hear me sneaking around. Which, when I thought on it more, I thought, why on earth are these people not hearing me sneaking around their mansion with a shitload of quarters in my pocket? I elected to open back up the door into Mr. Stiegel's room. I'd after all taken his stupid suitcase and thrown it in somewhere. As I have one more peek-see in the night drawer, I was starting to run out of quarters. I decided to... maybe none of this was worth it, so I decided to step back out. I closed the door, because I'm a nice guy like that. Then I decided to look at Mrs. Stiegel's room, or whoever she was. And I went inside. Thank you for the follow there, Lady Gotti. Let's see. Let's open up the night table once more. There didn't seem to be anything particularly noteworthy in it. A ball pen and some glasses. I was getting a little bit sick of this shit, so I stepped back out. And I closed the door once again. And I opened the other door back up and was wondering how on earth these people are not waking up when I keep opening and closing their doors. Whatever. I decided maybe something in here was worth taking. The tissue, the candy box, and the envelope 3. I decided to examine the candy box. There could have been something inside of it. It was a box of chocolates. It was a box of tissues. You know how to use them, don't you? You just put one on your nose and blow. And that's all you ever use it for. I'm trying to remember if I'd already plundered that envelope. So I had one more look at it. Keep your hands off Vickers or your wife gets the story. I wondered if maybe that was the incriminating evidence I was looking for, so I took it. Because it seemed to speak to motive. So I checked to make sure that he was breathing, and he was, which continued to perplex me why on earth they would never wake up when I keep opening and slamming their goddamn doors. In any event, we decided that maybe Kedzie needed to have one more look going here. What's the other door? They lead to 2 sleeping people, and that leads to a kitchen that is entirely on the level. I stole their sausage. It wasn't particularly tasty. The cabbie was a nice guy, so I said we needed to go to Kedzie. Just because it was one of the last places we hadn't gone to yet. So, I gave him another 3 quarters. I was starting to reach the point where if I didn't know what I was doing, I was going to have to go win some more money soon. And we knew how much fun that was going to be. So much fun. Just sitting there and cranking quarters. I found myself back inside a bungalow. I hadn't taken those earrings. They didn't seem important. I opened the desk back up and realized there was a diary in there. I wondered if I'd bother to look at it. A diary with the name Martha on it. There was a bookmark between the pages. I hadn't actually taken the bookmark, but I thought maybe to examine it. It was a bookmark with the initials JS imprinted on it. I wasn't so concerned with the bookmark, I just wanted to read the book. I was confused. I just wanted to read the diary. December 5th. Siegel dropped by again. I told him to get lost. I can't stand his jealousy. Apparently I'd figured out how to read. I have my eye on John Sternwood. Even if he is married, he gives me anything I ask for. If I can get him to divorce his wife, I can really live the good life. The plot had thickened. I've decided that this was pertinent evidence, so I took it. I took the diary. Alright. I figured maybe we were almost done here, so I went back in the cabbie. Said, how'd you like to earn 75 cents the easy way? I said we go to Sherman. I hadn't been there in a while, I just wanted to make sure I hadn't forgotten anything. Thank you for the 10 biddies for the big evidence. I was gonna give him my coat, but I realized that wouldn't fit in the slot, so I elected to pay him the 3/4 instead. I hoped the cops weren't gonna ask me what any of these illegal searches I performed, but they would only have been illegal if I were an officer of the law. Thank you for the 75 biddies. Because illegal searches only pertain to law enforcement. I was not law enforcement. Thus, the evidence was not necessarily fruit of the poisonous tree. I remembered, oh right, this was my office. I was pretty sure there was nothing new for me here. Fourth Amendment loopholes. Alright, I figured we were done here. I had all the evidence I needed. So I just said, last time I promise. I realize I'm putting you kids through college here, but I really need to go back to Peoria. Sausage of the poisonous tree. It was okay sausage, it wasn't great. It wasn't exactly good kielbasa. It was alright though. I figured if nothing else, Chicago would have gotten Polish sausage down, but they hadn't. Thank you, Haytara69, for the follow. Thank you for the 75 biddies again. We need to go to court. In the woods! It was Peoria Street. Took a big step to my right. And I took another big step to my right. And then I took another big step to my right. And I took one more big step to my right. And then I took another big step to my right. And then I took another big step to my right. I had apparently taken too many steps to my right. I should have watched where I was going. I had apparently died. Which is such a shame, because they at least found all the evidence that had cleared me of the wrongdoing. So knowing now that I shouldn't have taken one more step to my right, I elected to create a record of what was going on just in case there was more to the case. I wondered why I was side-strafing the whole time. Thank you for the 100 biddies there, not the adoring fan. So I opened up the police door to say, hey, have I got a story for you? Apparently they didn't like it very much. I was in a police station. They're pleased to see me. They want to hear my story. My story and the 3 pieces of evidence made Sturwood and Vickers look suspicious. But I can't be certain of that. The cops found some evidence and they suspect I committed Joey Siegel's murder and kidnapped Mrs. Sternwood. The bad blood between Miss Siegel was me and him was well known. It didn't take them long to bring me before the judge. The sentence was 10 years in prison. A barred cell was waiting for me. I had apparently not gotten rid of something. So, knowing this, I decided to take a big step back and not go in there.
Something, Strebeck. There are 2 things which clearly differentiate the human species from animals. 1, we use cutlery. 2, we're capable of controlling our sexual urges. Now, you might be an exception, but don't drag me down into your private hell.
I decided I was going to have to go back and out. I would have to go down to my private hell one more time and traverse into the sewer. There was a piece of evidence that I'd unknowingly brought along with me, and I'd have to dispose of it. Because apparently they are really, really tight-lipped about that sort of thing. I suspected that the JS in my notebook was what they were so pissed off about, so I kept looking around. Figured at some point I was going to find my way out of here. And I had. So, I decided maybe the diary had something I should get rid of. So I opened it back up. And I took the bookmark. The one that had JS written on it after all. And then I closed the diary back up. And I rummaged through my pocket to find that which I just placed in there a freaking second ago. And I elected to toss the bookmark. And then I remembered I still had that darn JS lighter on me. Maybe that would be a bad thing too. I figured I'd get rid of that. Was it going to let me get rid of it at this point? No. It still didn't want me to get rid of that lighter for some reason. I was very confused as to why. After all, it seemed like a very incriminating piece of evidence. And I decided to go back up topside. Still back up topside. And then maybe see if the cops would throw a big fit about me still carrying around that lighter that said JS on it. Evidently they did. They want to hear my story, and the evidence makes them look bad, but I can't be certain, and they think I still committed the murder. So, evidently I still wasn't doing something right. I wondered if maybe I needed to get rid of that card. So I went back in the sewer, and just decided, you know what, let's just get rid of everything we know we can. Alright. And I think it was about 2 rights and a... Maybe we gotta leave the lighter in the bar. Could be, could be. Check the handbag. Purge everything. You wonder how many people had the otherwise perfect games ruined by that bookmark because they never opened the diary. Well, we're pretty sure we're done with the card. Thank you for the 31 biddies. Or 31 rippies, I suppose. I wondered if I should get rid of the card. After all... No, apparently I needed to keep that. What about the key? Apparently I didn't want to keep that. How about my lovely coat? Apparently I wasn't able to get rid of my lovely coat. I wondered if I should get rid of the bill. Apparently the bill was perfectly good to be gotten rid of. I wondered if I should get rid of the key. Nope. You never know when you're gonna need a key too. Should I have gotten rid of the capsules? No, because the fish wouldn't like that. You see. I wonder if I should get rid of the pencil. I did take it from a suspicious place, but apparently I still really needed that pencil. How about the key? I wondered what was on note 3. Was note 3 really worth keeping? Oh right, it was a safe combination. We'd already used it, and I think I tried getting rid of it earlier, but it just wasn't having it. No, it wasn't having it at all. There was another safe combination, but we hadn't actually used it, but I still felt compelled to keep it. Did I open the safe in the office? I had. I was also apparently dropping frames for some reason. This was annoying, but at least... We did try tossing the bullets, but it just wasn't working for some reason. We're wondering if maybe I need to burn something. Huh? Stand to reason, otherwise why wouldn't it let us get rid of it? We did, however, want to keep the letter. We did want to keep the memo. That magazine seemed pretty useless, so I got rid of it. How about that photo? What was that photo? It's a photo of the gal asleep in the bed. Figured maybe I shouldn't keep that. Then I had letter 2. I wondered what letter 2 was. Sternwood, final warning. Keep your hands off Vickers. Your wife gets the story. Really felt like that would strengthen my case here, but I wasn't sure if I should get rid of it. Figured I'd see what would happen. Well... No, I didn't want to get rid of it. I did want to get rid of the medicine, but again, the fish weren't too happy with that. They just wouldn't let me do it. So. And we definitely were not going to get rid of that diary. We thought maybe there was one last thing we needed to do. I realized, however, that there was one last thing we needed to do, and if it involved the taxi, we were going to have to play the slot machine one more time. I just had to make sure I knew where the casino was. Because we only had fare for one more ride. Is there anything up here? Good, I was back inside the casino. Alright, figured maybe I should save, just in case. Figured I would double save. And, try my luck, because frankly I needed more cab fare at this point. Alright. Banana. Banana. Hey, we had a winner on the first try. Beautiful. 12 coins. Perfect. We had cab fare for 5 trips. I counted my blessings and took a step out of the room. Then made my way back upstairs. This game would give me coins all the time if I ran low or had none. For some reason I thought maybe I saw that the trunk on the Mercedes was closed. I realized I hadn't been the person who did that. I was wondering if a good Samaritan had done that for us. I decided to leave well enough alone. So there was something we needed to burn up, but I wasn't entirely certain. So I started thinking. Thinking real hard. I thought so hard it made a suspicious noise happen. But then I really wasn't sure, so I decided not to keep wondering in such a manner. I thought maybe I'd go see Joe, see if maybe he wanted his lighter back. We'll see. I kinda like this. Alright. Figured if nothing else, I'd go pay Joey a visit. He hadn't seen me in quite some time, and he was feeling lonely. I wonder if maybe this would be a perfectly good spot to leave the lighter. Where can I leave it? On him. Maybe I can't, maybe you can't leave it here. Maybe if I left it in the drawer. Maybe I can't leave it there. I was very confused about this. So I took a step back. I wonder if maybe it was something I needed to burn up. But then we've checked all the damn safes. Unless I missed a safe somewhere. I mean, at least I hadn't lost my mind. I didn't have to worry about that anymore. I just needed to worry about not dying. I was rather attached to the whole concept of living. I decided to ponder for a moment what would happen if I'd actually put my key inside this car. I seem to remember that key 2 was the one we were looking for here. Maybe it was 3. I wonder if this was the correct key. I couldn't do that, so that apparently was not it. Maybe it was 3. How was if I put it right here? Now I apparently had the proper key the first time. The car might have been rigged, but I decided to at least consider the possibility that maybe it wasn't. And I decided to consider the events that could have transpired if I elected to place the key in there. It seemed to have certain negative connotations, and I didn't think maybe I wanted to be associated with that. So I decided maybe to not actually do that. Okay. Where the hell else do we have to go? Because after all, the problem is we got this damn lighter, and it won't let us get rid of it. Who would want a lighter? What if I just use the damn lighter? I'd like to use it on myself. You can't do that here. There was a slight ringing in my ears. Fortunately, I was nowhere near them. Did I ever find out where the woman I knocked out ended up? I assume she's perfectly fine. I just knew I didn't want to go inside the police station. So I kept moving. I wondered if maybe this guy wanted a lighter. Maybe I got a plant in the real owner's place. Then I'd have to remember where Siegel lived. And I wasn't entirely certain off the top of my head where he lived. But I figured maybe the cabbie had an idea. I asked out to the heavens, "Where, God? Where did you want me to put this lighter? Would the drunk want it? Hey, Mr. Drunk, do you want this lighter?" Maybe I can't leave it here. Well, the important thing is I tried. For some reason, we thought maybe the penthouse was the right place. I had answered to the heavens, and they answered. Or I had spoken to the heavens, and they said, you know, maybe try the fucking penthouse. So I decided to hit up my old cabbie friend. I hadn't used him in a while, and frankly, I figured he could use the money. Which meant that if we had gotten rid of the card, that wouldn't have been an option. I was trying to remember which one was the penthouse. I was pretty sure it was West End. I decided to keep going. Then I offered him more coins. I really wondered at this point how many more I'd have to give him before he'd give me a freebie. Classy Dames Monthly, you think? Where was Classy Dames Monthly? I think that was somewhere else. So I guess we're going somewhere else. So Auburn Road was the house. Kedzie, I think, is the other place. Sherman... I suddenly couldn't remember my places anymore. Figured I'd try Kedzie. So I figured I'd give him more money. And I had to pay attention to this, because now I only had 3 cab fares left. Sherman was my office, so I made sure not to go there. When I was back in the bungalow, was this where I needed to leave the lighter? Maybe I can't leave it here. I wondered at this point how many more. Then I realized someone was making a joke. I decided the earrings was definitely incriminating evidence and I wouldn't take it with me. Alright, it was back to the penthouse. Except, yes, the penthouse. Where do you want to go? And I said, back to West End. We were just at West End. Well, that's where I want to go. Do you want the money or not? I did have to start being cognizant of my coin collection, though. Then I stepped out. We were back in the apartment house, and I went inside. And I pulled that damn card out again. Thank you once again. Whoops. Did it wrong. Damn stupid thing was still open and I screwed up, so I put the card back in. Except now I've interfaced with the card too many times and it reset. And I'm pushing the button, and I realized I was pushing the button just too many times. I stepped inside. And I used the card again. Instead of just having the thing continuously equipped, I had to keep pulling it out. I had to keep pulling this card out, just putting it in the slot. And I went back inside. And I wondered if maybe this was a good place to leave the lighter. Maybe in the fireplace. It apparently was not the place. Where could I leave a lighter? Apparently I could not leave the lighter in the penthouse. What if I used the lighter to burn up the note over the big painting over there? That was apparently not it. What if I used the lighter on the fireplace? That also was not the answer. What if I used it to perhaps light up the bookcase? I am now stuck with this wonderful lighter that will never be gotten rid of for some reason. It is apparently still pertinent in some way, shape, or form, but it eluded me as to its exact usage. Decided maybe I needed to consult with higher authority here. I decided maybe the lighter, maybe it just wasn't useful at all. Maybe it wouldn't be considered incriminating. So I was like, what else could I just burn something up here? How about this note? I decided not to burn the note. Because I don't know why. But apparently I'd hit on something. I needed to use the lighter to burn something. And I decided that this penthouse was just the right backdrop in order to do it. Note 4 was lit by the lighter. It burned to ashes. I prayed that that wasn't something I shouldn't have done. So I decided to keep moving. Going through anything else that I could burn up. I knew I needed the diary. That was incontrovertible. But I wondered if maybe just burning up that stupid little thing was enough. I figured I'd go talk to the cops. In fact, if that's all it was, I was gonna realize that this entire line of questioning was fruitless and pointless, and then go back to where I was before. And then decide maybe I should just burn up that note. And wondering if that was in fact the only thing that still needed to be done. So I burned up note number 4 here. And then I decided to go say hi to Johnny Law. I wondered if just that one thing had been the linchpin to it all. It had not been. But apparently I was still on the wrong. I was not on the up and up. So I decided maybe I needed to burn something else up. I reached for the lighter, and in addition to note 4, decided to see maybe that other letter needed to go as well. So I withdrew the lighter once more, you see. And kept on going here. Wait, letter 2 for some reason. Figured maybe that would go. And then I decided to see if that was the correct combination. Then I said hello. It was evidently not the correct combination. I still felt as though having the lighter around was not the right thing, but perhaps I needed to do something with it before its destruction would be authorized. So, actually, I went back upstairs and I went inside Joe's bar. I wondered if maybe there was an outstanding thing inside the safe I hadn't taken that was preventing me from otherwise removing the safe combination and thus the lighter from my inventory. So I went back in his office. He still seemed pretty dead. So I decided I'm gonna look here. I had apparently not opened up the safe for some reason. Though I swore up and down I had. Whatever, I opened it up again. There was indeed a folder and a box. I felt as though I'd already done something with this, and perhaps that was the problem. It was the manila folder. It had a piece of folded paper inside. I was pretty sure I'd done something with this already. I found it very confusing that this content was still here. It was an IOU. It said I owed Joey Stiegel $1,000 bucks. I was pretty sure maybe that was what it was going on about, so I took the note. Then I closed up the folder. Yeah, I'm totally having déjà vu here. I don't understand what's going on. I decided to open up the box. Said what was in the box. There was nothing inside, but I could have sworn there was something in the box before. Nonetheless, I deduced perhaps this was enough. I backed out. I just wanted out of there. I'd had enough of Joey or Joel or whatever the hell his name shit. You request an update. We think we're on the cusp of solving the case. I just, need to get good. So I found my way back into the sewer here. Decided to take one step to my right, and then check and see if I found the right place. And I had. So I grabbed the lighter, the incriminating piece of evidence that for some reason I just never felt compelled to get rid of, even though I could have just thrown the notes in there. And apparently I still could not burn up note number 3. Apparently it was still pertinent. Was the game really throwing such a fit that I needed to actually remove all of the items from that safe in order to clear the flag that enabled the destruction of that note? Surely I would have to check. So I figured, you know, what the hell, I'm really getting used to the smell of Joe's body, so why not step into his office for the 7th time? Because apparently the thing is still closed, you see, and I cannot just simply say open, because it cannot be opened without the special combination. The special combination, of course, being note 3. You just wave it in front of the safe and it just works. It opened up. I decided to remove the contents whether or not I felt they were important or not. As one does. I took the box in the manila folder and hoped that this would be the last time I would see his corpse today. And I took a couple big steps back. And then I went downstairs, because it's all gonna lead into the gosh darn sewer anyway. And I took a step to my right, and a big step back. And I thanked Timma47 for the follow. So then, now, the lighter ought to work on that stupid note. Well, logic says it should. Logic is such a liar. The cops later called me into the morgue to identify Joe's body. I went, shit. I decided not to burn up the note. I was really getting upset with that. I decided, what if I would use the the lighter on note 4? It was lit up by the lighter and it burned to ashes. I wondered if maybe I could just leave the friggin' note in here instead of burning it up. For fuck's sake. Well, in any event, I knew that the folder and the box needed to go. There was no reason to continue carrying those around. So into the river they went. And then I wondered if this finally would permit the destruction of the lighter, for it had burned up note 4. Was this truly enough to forbid the lighter from existence? And it wasn't. I was getting a little pissed off at that, because this note's continuing existence enraged me. It had clearly already used its purpose, and yet for some reason it just wouldn't go away. I feel like note 1's actually important, but let me look at it again here. It's an IOU. It says Ace Harding owes Joey Siegel $1,000. Ooh! You know what? Maybe that isn't something I want to have. I don't want them to know the victim that I owed the victim money. That would be unfortunate. I don't even remember writing the damn thing. I think it was a crock of shit. But nonetheless, getting rid of it would eliminate one page from my thingamabob. And then I wondered if that was enough. Would this truly be enough to compel me to let the lighter go? It wasn't. That still was not the case, apparently. I wondered if maybe burning up if it would let me burn note 3 this time. I wondered if maybe the game was just fucking with me at this point. But maybe it was all important. Who knew? I figured, let's go see what the cops think now. We got rid of the IOU. Maybe they'd be happy with me now. Maybe I should have saved while I was standing in front of that thing, so I wouldn't have to walk all the way back when I screw this up. let's go talk to the police again. See if maybe now they believe my story. It could happen. Stranger things have happened. Oh! Apparently that was the correct combination. I was in the hands of the police. The evidence I brought to them, which didn't contain the IOU, proves to be interesting. In the courtroom, where you wind up during the trial of the kidnapping of Mrs. Sternwood and the murder of Joey Siegel. 3 bits of evidence proved valuable. The diary from Vickers' bungalow, the blackmail letter, and timetable from Sternwood's bedroom. We found the correct combination. These 3 items, when put together, paint the picture of Captain Planet in a plot by Sternwood and Vickers to kill Mrs. Sternwood and Siegel, and to make me the patsy and take the fall for it. The diary and the blackmail letter prove the motive for such actions. Thank you for the 3 biddies for the 3 bits of evidence. The timetable indicated how they did it. Sternwood and Vickers were grilled on the witness stand. The weight of the evidence and the skilled tactics of my lawyer made Vickers admit to the crime. Way to go, Ace! Because of your excellent skills, the case is laid to rest. Oh boy. Somebody just became the new boss. Thank you for the 500 biddies there, not the adoring fan. The Ace Harding School of Investigation certifies as a fully qualified private investigator with full privileged and honors. Because of your excellent skills, the case is laid to rest. Congratulations, Ace. You're off the hook. Since the case drew national interest, your name is seen on every paper in the country. Who could have asked for anything more? Ace Harding's my moniker. Once a boxer, now a private eye. Siegel lost his life for a mere 20 grand, so I'm off the hook. All the town's really quiet all of a sudden, like nothing happened. But crime will never cease here. It's hunting its next victim, right at this moment. Ace Harding's my moniker. The next case is just around the corner. Somebody had better look out. The end. Alright. And that's it. Yeah, his boxing picture had been on the wall of the bar. So, high inventions. I am the knight. I am Ace Harding. I have to admit, this ended a little sooner than I was anticipating. Let me look for something here. I'm gonna let the music run for a second here. After all, it was a mugger with 2 black eyes staggering about. Yes, there is. Oh, probably gonna frame for a second here. Maybe not. I had a hard drive whirring up. Okay. What if I do this? We didn't bump into the brute, no. Perhaps. Permit me a moment here. I have to change something. What if? Ooh, very bright all of a sudden. La da da dee. Oh, I see. Leave that over there for a second. Now, to tinker with 1 or 2 things here. There we go. Ooh, I'm gonna have to change a few things here. Stand by. We're designing on the fly. That still doesn't look kosher. I'm gonna have to put something else on here. Crop. Let's say, How about more? Oh, great, that's not working. 30. Okay, 50. Yeah, that's not the right thing. 50. Too much. 45. 43. 42. 41. 42. 43. And let's say 25. Too much. 23. 22. Good enough. Hey, Husky. How you doing? Now, did this screw up the other thing I had going on here? Where did that go? There we go. Perfect. Oh, wait, there's one more thing. Oh, no, that looks right. Ooh. Oh, that doesn't look great. Oh, well. I don't know how far we'll go on this, but let's see where life takes us. Ooh. I think if we're gonna play this on a regular basis, I think we'd be doing the proper computer version. We're doing pretty good. We just cleared ourselves a murder. Pretty good thing to do. I wake from a groggy stupor. The throbbing pain from the back of my head creates an uneasy sense of déjà vu. I breathe a sigh of relief as I realize I do remember my name. Well, now, isn't that nice? I'm actually going to take that off. There. I do remember my name this time. Great. Ace Harding, Private Eye. With that memory, the events from the previous 48 hours comes back into focus. Ooh. I was abducted in Chicago by two thugs who brought me to the notorious Las Vegas mobster Tony Malone. Word on the street was that Malone and Joey Siegel, whose murder you were recently cleared of, had some sort of connection. You discovered that Siegel was running rackets for Chicago and in Chicago for Malone. And now Siegel was dead and $112,000 of Malone's money was missing as well. Since I was the last one to deal with Siegel, Malone figured I was the one who he left the money with. The Vegas mobster gave me an offer I couldn't refuse. Either return his $112,000 in 1 week or there be the classic or else for you. And just to make sure you don't try any funny business, Balloon's #1 hitman, Stogie Martin, will keep close tabs on you. Because of course his name is Stogie. Why wouldn't it be Stogie? Boy, you mutter to yourself, this has not been my week. I stand up shakily and wonder where that money could be. Don't be a wise guy. I see they've kind of simplified the interface here. He'll take it in quarters, right? One would hope, anyway. Alright. I don't think we're actually going to do this. I just wanted to have a look at it, because I'm not ruling out doing Déjà Vu 2, but I'd rather do the classic Macintosh version instead of this. But, alright. I'm actually going to close that back out. Go back over here. Unscrew everything I just did with this a second ago. Oh, that seems larger than it should be all of a sudden.
Pib is fabulous and looks good.
Why am I suddenly in front of the webcam? No. Why is this so horribly off? Oh, I know why. Crop is screwing it up. There we go. Clue, eh? I'd have to do some more finagling, but I mean, that might be possible. Because otherwise they're just going to pull another period game like the Untouchables or something. Well, let me see if I can conjure that up real quick. I might be able to. I might be able to. Of course, that's going to have to go bye-bye again. Ah, too bright. Blinded by the light. Set up like a deuce. And then blur. Okay. Damn it, where did I save that? I had it a minute ago. Shit. Windows, real good. Let's put it over here. I do actually have a clue for the Genesis. I have an actual physical cartridge of it somewhere. So that makes what I'm about to do here perfectly kosher. There we go. Which means now I can do this. Which means I can do this. Which means that I should probably also do this. And this. And that. And that. And that. And that. And that. And do that. And that. And then futz around with the filters a little bit. And do... Whoa! That's a little bit too much there. Yeah, that's way too much. How about 25? Give me something to work with here, game. Actually, that's actually pretty good. That's actually really good. We'll stick with it. Oh, man. There. Oh, my goodness. That is perfect. Fit to screen. I'm actually going to get rid of that thing on the right now. Perfect. What color tie am I wearing? It's... Hang on. I'll do you one quick favor here. I can actually fix that real quick. Yeah. Ta-da! Anyway. It's black. Duh. Alright. Was Miss Scarlet the key? So I remember this version of the game was a little odd. Because it actually played more like a proper whodunit, I think. Or something. Let's do amateur. Number of players. 3. And I'm gonna be Miss Scarlet. I'm gonna be hot. I will be human. And then do Professor Plum. We're gonna make him a compooper. And Mrs. Peacock. She can also be a computer. I'm confused here. Oh, apparently I must be canceling this? Okay, I was apparently never actually selecting anybody. I was pushing the wrong button. I know. DDK in the evil zone. Oh, God. Alright. Press start to play. Oh, I pushed the wrong button. Miss Scarlet's turn. Roll, interrogation, accusation, or cards. What are my cards? I want to see them. What have I got? There's a very good episode of Continue you need to watch of this. So let's see. Our cards are Mrs. Peacock. Whoa. Controller really does not like this game. My goodness. Whoa! That's not gonna be helpful. Is there a turbo feature on I don't know about? What the actual flying... Okay, lead pipe. Mrs. Peacock, lead pipe. An emulator that's incredibly incensed with me right now. Dining room. Study. I feel like the cursor's not supposed to move that fast. You understand what I mean, though, right? Library. And the conservatory. You just know it wasn't Mrs. Peacock. I'm gonna roll. Oh, for you. Oh yeah, I moved one whole spot. Go me. Congratulations to me. Okay. Hooray. Who did it? Hey, don't go accusing me. What did I do with it? This is minigames like Mario Party, right? Oh yeah, totally. Professor Plum was in the conservatory. Yeah, this is weird. So it's not a straight comparison to the original game. Because now it's saying that Professor Plum was in the conservatory, but why would we give a shit that Professor Plum was in the conservatory? That would only be pertinent if the murder took place in the conservatory. Suggestion. What the hell does interrogation do? Alright. How about Professor Plum in the conservatory with the gat? The rope was in the conservatory. Okay. Yes, this isn't a one-to-one comparison with the original board game. So now she's saying Miss White did it in the ballroom with the Derringer. Except that's not even a Derringer either. Nobody was in the ballroom. Nobody! Okay. Who did it? Colonel Mustard with the kniff in the lounge. Okay. What do you got for me? I'm hot. Miss Scarlet was in the lounge. Okay. This is fucking weird. Interrogation. How does interrogation work? Who did it? Professor Plum did it. With the rope. You see. In the conservatory. Totally. If I can push the damn thing. Alright, what happened here? The air hung damp and heavy from the lush foliage of the conservatory. Professor Plum pretended to study his notes. He quickly coiled the rope. Wait! I am certain it could not have been Professor Plum. I have proof. Well, good for you. Okay. So it wasn't Professor Plum, it wasn't the rope, and it wasn't in the conservatory, apparently. So we figured that out. Whoa-ho. So I was apparently in the lounge at some point. Very strange interpretation of the game of Clue. Monocle. Colonel Mustard was in the dining room. Okay. Congrats. I'm going with the lounge. I did it. I'm just gonna be honest about it. Apparently I'm not allowed to suggest myself. Why am I not allowed to suggest myself? Okay, me with the gun. Yeah, Cluedo, you're right. That's where it's called in other places. Nobody had the revolver. Okay, so the revolver evidently is not the murder weapon. Congrats, you moved one whole spot. Look, the medicine, my memory's a little shaky here due to some medicine, but I think I killed him. Alright, I'm gonna roll. So apparently that's the only way I can make a suggestion if I leave the room and go back. Which is freaking weird, but okay. Who did it in the conservatory? It wasn't Mrs. Peacock, as Mrs. Peacock wasn't in the conservatory. You've got it all wrong. The lead pipe was in the study. Congrats. Alright, what are you doing now, Plummy? Who did it in the hall? Mrs. White did it in the hall. She did it in the hall with the wrench. It was very lewd.
Ew.
Mrs. White had the wrench. She had the wrench, but we don't know where she was with it. Well, yes, she cleans the whole place, you see. She's the maid.
She's fixing the toilet.
Oh, for crying out loud. Alright, Plummy, what are you doing? I don't know why we have a pipe wrench in the hall, but we do. Alright, let me back in the lounge. Alright, me in the lounge with not the gun. So White had the wrench, the rope's in the conservatory, the pipe is in the study, so it's either the candlestick or the knife. Why play real board games when you could play on a game console? Exactly, you don't have to have a table, you just need a television set. I'm thinking the knife. I did it with the knife in the lounge. The knife was in the lounge, and I was in the lounge. I'm gonna do an accusation.
You're gonna accuse yourself.
I accuse myself. You're tempted to get Monopoly still for some reason on PS4. I actually just picked up a version of Monopoly yesterday for PS2, Monopoly Party. It's interesting. It has the world's worst John Lithgow impersonator. So I think I did it with the knife in the lounge. I did it! I win the game by locking myself up, apparently. The lounge was quite warm. It was cozy enough for a nap. A long nap. Miss Scarlet laughed as she fixed her makeup and hair. She suddenly grabbed the knife. There's evidence that I am wrong!
Oh, that's good that I'm not...
Oh.
Yeah, if you make an accusation and you're wrong, you're fucked. You're done.
Oh. Well, this is fucking dumb. So now we will never know who did it. Oh wait, the game keeps going. Okay.
Yeah, so don't make an accusation unless you're like 100% sure.
I was at least 80% sure. I guessed wrong, so they kicked me out.
At least you're innocent.
Well, we don't know that I'm innocent, we just know that I'm wrong. Scarlet has not been vindicated here.
Oh.
We just know Scarlet did... Well, actually, if Miss Scarlet had the knife... Well, no, because the knife is in the lounge. So no, it couldn't have been Scarlet. Well, no, it could have been Scarlet, it just wouldn't have been... Well, no, it said... Okay, so it said Scarlet was in the lounge. Okay, it's not Scarlet. And nobody was in the study. Congrats! You figured out nobody was in the study. Fan-freaking-tastic. This is actually more fun just to watch now at this point. Who would kill somebody in a library? My goodness. Why would anyone do that? Why? Why, I say? There's nobody. There's nobody in the study. The candlestick was in the library. Good to know. Good to know. What?
Good to know, as if we're still playing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, maybe we can play at home. We can figure out who's doing this. We just don't get to win the game, but we can be right. No, 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 no. He didn't have the wrench. This was already established, you see. Miss White had the wrench. Huh? See? Somebody wasn't taking notes. What a waste. So what I was getting interrogation and accusation mixed up. That was the problem.
Yeah. You can interrogate all you want, but once you make an accusation, you need to be like.
Yeah, but you
100%.
can't suggest and interrogate in the same turn, it seems, and that was the problem. I got the two mixed up. I think the same thing happened on the Continue episode. Mr. Green had no weapon. He killed him with his bare hands. Actually, that would absolve Mr. Green of the murder if he doesn't have any of the weapons. So Mr. Green's the only person who didn't do it. Hey, Admiral McFish. Oh, well, no. Okay, we know Green didn't do it. Scarlet didn't do it. We played Déjà Vu. It was pretty good. It's a pretty good game. I'll have to think about playing the sequel sometime. Now we're waiting for the two dumbest idiots to figure out how to play this game. Murder mystery. Hey, roll. The wrench was in the hall. And Mrs. White had the wrench, so if Mrs. White killed anybody, it was in the hall. And yeah, Peacock is innocent. Oh, Professor Plum's holding an interrogation. We're thinking White Wrench Hall is at least a combination, but someone's trying White Wrench. Oh, here we go. They might have figured it out. 7 people walked into the hall that day, but how many would be able to walk out? Mrs. White quietly tidied up the hall. She deftly hefted the wrench. That's an interesting possible scenario. I don't think it actually has any bathrooms.
Excuse me.
Are you gonna accuse? You are.
That's it. Yep.
See, my favorite thing is to be a dick and do suggestions of things that are in my hand. So when it comes up empty, it throws people off. Because I'm a jerk. How many would be able to walk out? She tidied up the hall. She hefted the wrench. She wouldn't take it anymore. She'd had enough of Mr. Body's shit. Conk. How did you know? I cleaned up my trail completely. I'll be back. Just a simple matter of deduction. Even a child could have found the solution if they'd not pushed the wrong button. You see, and accused way too early. Smug Plum, that bastard. Let's try that again. And not be an idiot this time, I guess. Amateur. 3 players. I'ma be Miss Scarlet. Then let's bring in... Oh, hey, it's not... Why is it suddenly not screwed up anymore? The movement controls were royally screwed up a minute ago. I'm not complaining. Colonel Mustard. And, this is White. Do the whole top row. Oh shit, I picked human. No, go back. Oh man. Now let's do it again. There we go. Reset. The reset of shame. Alright, I'm gonna be Miss Scarlet, because then I'm hot and I get to go first. Colonel Mustard will be the computer. Miss White will also be the computer. Now we're good. Alright, I want to see my cards. Thank you for the 1 Rippy. So Mr. Green didn't do it. It wasn't the candlestick. The controls are all screwed up again. It wasn't the wrench. So, okay, so it's not the wrench, it's not Mr. Green, it's not the candlestick, it's not the kitchen. It's not the conservatory, and it's not the dining room. So we got 3 rooms, a guy, and 2 weapons. So not dining room, not conservatory, dining room, conservatory, and kitchen. Can I look at the whole map? Because I really like to look at the map. Whatever. I will roll. This is very lewd. I'm just gonna let this run for a second. Ah! Perfect. Good roll. Dagger easy. Thanks for coming. Hand emote when. I suppose I could make that sort of thing. Alright, into the lounge we go. So we know it wasn't green. So let's say, I'm gonna say plum with the knife. Okay, Scarlet had the knife. So I've still got the knife, apparently. End my turn. So apparently I had the knife, we just don't know where I was. Again, this is such a weird version of this game. Alright, ballroom. This is white. And the wrench. I think we have the wrench. I don't know if we have the wrench card. I think, no. We have candlestick, I forget the other one though. Miss Peacock was in the ballroom. Miss Peacock was in the ballroom. That's Lud. Let's go to the conservatory. The Blitz was in the ballroom. I'm gonna say Scarlet with the knife in the conservatoire. Even though I think I've got the card for this. Oh my god, I'm hot. Miss Scarlet had the knife. Okay, we know this. Alright, Mustard, what do you got for me here? You're saying me with the gat. But I had the knife, you see. But really fixated on me being the killer. Professor Plum was in the lounge, okay. So if I committed the murder, it wasn't in the lounge. What do you got for me, White? Who did it? You're suggesting yourself, apparently. With the wrench. Well, you know, at least you're honest. At least you're willing to admit that you killed him. That's kind of loungy. Did you do it? Miss White was in the billiard room. Oh. Okay, so I was not in the lounge, so I apparently did not commit the murder there. That is to say, if I committed the murder. So, we're going to take the secret passage, and we're going to put forth an interrogation. Or no, we're not, because it's not letting me do that. We already know I had the knife. Let's find out something different. Yay, Mr. Green. How about... Did you have the gun? That is, if I can... There we go. Mr. Green was in the library? Okay. Mr. Green was in the library. So now I can do my interrogation on the next turn. Can I actually... I need to look at my cards. For all I know, I'm holding the conservatory card. I didn't do it. Or did I? The revolver was in the lounge. Okay. So if the murder was conducted in the lounge, it wasn't with the knife. And if I had the knife, then I'm not the killer. Wait, no. This still doesn't absolve me of anything. I'm gonna interrogate. Where'd the gat? Somebody got the gat. I had the knife. I'm gonna say me with the knife. And jeez. Why does this house have so many unsecured weapons in it? I don't know.
Right?
Yeah, a long nap. I laughed as I fixed up my hair. I grabbed the knife. Wait, I am certain it could not have been the lounge. I have proof. Okay, so the lounge is not the place of the murder, and if I was in the lounge, it means I'm not the killer. I will end my turn. So the lounge is out. See, what I need is, I need one of those...
Notebook.
Yeah, I need one of those notebooks that used to come with the game. That's my problem. Because I'm just forgetting all this shit. I will roll. Can we occupy the same space, or am I... Oh, god damn it, I forgot. I can't move out of the room because white's blocking it. Which begs the question of why did we just soft lock the game? Am I sure I want to end my turn? Okay, yes. But you can't be the killer even though you say you are. Alright, dining room. No, the secret passage was out at that point. So we got me with the knife in the dining room. Except I was not in the dining room. Yes, we know I had the knife. We know that part is correct. We know for certain the murder was not committed in the lounge. Why do they... It wasn't the lounge. But, you know, you're free to keep suggesting. Maybe you can tell me where I was. Where was I? Scarlet was in the hall. Okay. So Scarlet was in the hall. God damn it. This is rigged, very rigged. Stop suggesting me, you bastards.
They like you.
Well, they know I had the knife, they know I was in the hall. 7 people walked into the hall that day, but how many would be able to walk out? Miss Scarlet laughed as she fixed her makeup and hair. She suddenly grabbed the knife. That's an interesting possible scenario.
Uh-oh. You're going down.
Jesus, they already figured it out.
You're going down.
And I was trying to go to the hall. Scarlet laughed as she fixed her makeup and hair. She suddenly grabbed the knife. She had been hurt enough. Oh dear. And... Get your hands off me, you goons! I'll go peacefully. Ha! Victory is mine! I knew it all along. All the time. Wow, that was remarkably stupid.
Isn't it like the same room too as the last game?
I don't know.
It was the hall.
Yeah.
Mix it up a bit, game.
Goons, hired goons. Ay, ay, ay. Well, now what? I think we're gonna enter proper cooldown mode. So, let's close this out here. And I tell you what, we'll step on out of the black and white section here in just a second. There we go. Though I'm gonna stay black and white because damn it, why not? Oh yeah, I've tried out that new background. Yeah, still testing it. We'll see what happens. Alright. Red, the official color of the other woman. Alright, one player versus computer, yes. Skill level 2. I still gotta get this list updated, but, let's see here. Today's contestant is James Williams and the Ghost. There you go. James. See how much of it I can fit in here. James Will. All we're gonna fit is James Will. All right. Yes, we will bear this idea in mind for future games that would use the concept. All right. Let's get James to Paris. Yes. Let's do it. See, it's actually not too bad that this stream may be ending a little early just because we got a shitload of snow coming tomorrow and maybe there's things I gotta get done before. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Shit! P. I forgot there's a timer there. There was a P. Please not bankrupt, please not bankrupt, please not bankrupt, please not bankrupt. So yeah, this is obviously different from the standard moving around background. Just a smidge. I'll actually switch that out if I can. Spin. Exactly. S. We're gonna hit all the big ones. Wow. Kinda hoping for more than that. Have I thought of trying Double Dare on stream? Can't say I don't think I have. N? Something, something, and something, something. Antoine, something, and somebody, something. Ant Paint Funzy and Scott Napkins. Damn it. Yeah, Anthony, somebody, and somebody Hopkins. You're right. Oh man, come on Howard, you busted my balls here. I've already got next week's schedule figured out, unless I think of something at the last minute here. Tuesday's gonna be more Yakuza Dead Souls. You really want to catch those live because Sega and YouTube are being jerks and blocking basically anything from either of those games being uploaded. So, good to catch those live, though you could still watch the VOD on Twitch. Friday night will be Ace Combat 0. Feeling that for some reason. Anthony, William, and Hans Hopkins. And Sunday, for Super Bowl Sunday, we're gonna do Blitz the League 2. We're gonna do a football stream for Football Day. It's gonna have lots of stuff in it. Frank Caliendo's in it too for some reason. He's playing not John Madden. So I figure that'd be a good topical one-off. Anthony, Miriam. No, the R's not gone. Anthony, Miriam, and somebody Hopkins. That is, if I can get a turn in here edgewise. Come on, R. Anthony, Miriam, and Harry Hopkins? I think if I'm hanging on to 5,400, we should probably solve this. Yeah, we're running out of time, so I think we gotta do it now. Anthony, Miriam, and Harry Hopkins with an I. Well, this just about guarantees us the bonus round. Beauty. Hey, I'll take it. Alright, alright. Okay. Phrase. Fucking good beers. I mean, I know who Anthony Hopkins is. I can't speak to the rest of them. Fucking good beers. See? And even the first letter's an F. I'm guessing Harry and Miriam were in some movie from the 1950s like every other fucking topic in this thing. Fucking loud beers. Failure pile Mike. Someday we're gonna do the proper Switch version. Just for a laugh. Both of us. Fucking lewd bears. Yeah, it could be.
You guys are funny.
You got a snort out of her, that's how you know you're funny. Fill in mine pants. N. Are you N-ing kidding me? Franken-lewd boobs. What is the topic even again? I gotta see that. It's a phrase. The U is in the wrong place, you're right. $200. What you got for me, Alex Trebek? Whatever your name is. Flying Loots Fiddle Luck Toots. That's exactly it. You got it just right. Perfect. Failure lust crust. Apparently Hopkins was Secretary of Commerce in the early years of FDR. Wow, you'd have to be really old in this game to know that. Indit Hook Tech. M? Famous last words. Phallus last place. Yeah. There was an episode of Game Grumps a week ago, and I'm not normally one to plug Game Grumps content, but they did an episode of Wheel of Fortune with Weird Al as a guest. It's not a bad video. Al beats the shit out of him. Well, they should get to know that Weird Al kicked the shit out of the both of them at Wheel of Fortune. Alright, here we go. Hey, you get a free spin if you get a letter. Yeah, but he lost on Jeopardy, baby. Ooh, he lost on Jeopardy, baby.
They should have played Jeopardy. Oh, I don't know if they had a Jeopardy game.
That would have been a little too on the nose, I guess.
Come on.
That might have given him PTSD. Murney, I got it. Meanie. He was tense. He was nervous. I'm gonna have to watch UHF tonight now. He guessed he wasn't too bright. Ah, good times. So he's on tour again, except closest show's in Milwaukee. We might still go see. I'm not ruling it out. I guess it depends on when it was. It's the no strings attached tour. Apparently, he's literally doing it with every show's with an orchestra. Marine something. Marine biologist. Marine Merlin. It's not corporal. Not sergeant. It's not colonel. Marine snorkel. Marine general? No, too many letters. Marine... Nah, yeah, it's not corporal. That would be corporal. Marine... Whatever. We got this anyway. Marina owner. No, that's not gonna be it. Well, we're getting another shot at it. Marine, swimmer, diver, diverticulitis. Lieutenant, sergeant, major, colonel, Marine fox roll. Marine corral? No, there'd be another R for that. Marine pool. Marine patrol. Yeah, you had it, James. It's okay, we still win this. Congratulations, Howard, you made $500. You still think it's Foxroll? You're probably right. Waiting for you to make that your username. Alright, we're sending him to Paris. It's Foxroll in our hearts. Royal Canadian Mounties all in one thing. Whatever this is a title. Goldfinger?
Well, shit.
Rumpelstiltskin? Anna Managuchi? Ass kicking? Scarface? Aslanyanya. Sausage Factory. I don't think we're sending him to Paris. Persephone? Rastalines? No, the T's already gone. Gasolini, slap chops. Masculine. That'll be masculines. Castlevania. Casablanca. You were on the right wavelength. You had Cass. Well, you know what they say. You don't get the movie right. If you don't get the movie title right, if you don't get the movie title right today, you'll regret it. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon for the rest of the game, for the rest of the stream. That was on theme too. We should have known better. I know. Christ, just gonna have to watch Casablanca now too. What a fucking shame. All right. I think we're gonna wrap this up here. Let me see if I can find somebody. Somebody. See what we can find here. Who else is playing retro? Let's have a look here. Pack it up. Bogart's over. He's done. Anybody? I'm Dunzo. You and me? With Dunzo. Anybody good here? Anybody lower in retro? I always feel dangerous sticking my people out into the world. But let's see what happens here. Oh, hang on here. Nah, that wouldn't work. Somebody's playing Metal Gear and Russian. Somebody's playing Hide Lied.
What?
Why is somebody playing Hide Lied? There's a crazy person playing Hide Lied.
Oh shit.
I don't know who this person is. We're gonna go say hello. Raid, what is this? D-Pad Danny. Well, be polite, be nice. We don't know this person and we're interrupting their lovely game of Hide Lied, so we'll see what happens here. Thank you very much, everyone who attended. Thank you, the many, many people who gave many, many biddies. There was a lot of you folks. Holy shit. Alright. This has been a very wonderful stream. Thank you very much, everyone who attended, and we will see you next week on Tuesday. Mwah. Yes. Maybe we won't see you today. Maybe we won't see you tomorrow. We'll see you soon and for the rest of our streams. Au revoir, mes amis. I'm gonna have me a snack after this.